Kevin, stop. You're getting cream cheese all over the table.
Honey, I'm a retired police officer, not a maid.
Kevin.
Plus, I'm fat, and that's what makes my character funny.
Fine. You're right, Kevin. I love you.
Oh, God! Kevin!
Kevin, no!
Good evening, everyone. We interrupt this episode.
Oh, come on, not right now.
To bring you an important story. This is a really big news story that you won't want to miss. Be sure to stay tuned.
Really? Every channel? What is so important that...
Twitter has announced that their popular social media app Vine will be closing its doors in the next couple months. At this moment, the specific details of this move are unclear. But one thing I know for certain is that if you're a Viner and your only source of online relevance and, hell, self-worth is the number of Vine followers you have, then I imagine this news is simply devastating.
Oh my God, I heard. Can you believe this? No, that's crazy. They're shutting down Vine? What? Oh, no, I wasn't listening to that. I'm on the news.
News. Boy, do I love the news.
What? I'm the news anchor. Which is weird because I didn't think I was. Am I? Why didn't I know this? No, you're not the... This is a sketch, Drew. You're just playing all the characters.
Characters?
You recorded that yesterday, and now you're just playing it on the TV. I'm not so sure I'm following. Alright, clearly this is getting too meta. Did you just write this part in because you didn't know how to...
Because I didn't know how to end the sketch.
Yeah, I figured. 911? Hi, I'd like to order a sandwich. Also, you wrote a sketch that's supposed to take place 1 year ago.
Just pickles, please.
And the phone you gave yourself was a Motorola Razr?
Uh-huh.
Do you think that people still used Razr phones a year ago?
I don't remember when people stopped using razors.
Can everybody please do me a favor and refrain from commenting on my little band-aid? No, I'm not going to tell you how I hurt my finger, and I'm definitely not going to tell you how to use a cheese grater, because apparently I don't know. And I'm absolutely not going to tell you why the only band-aids I own are from a movie called The Secret Life of Pets, which I've never heard of.
Do it for the fun. I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the fun. I ain't gonna do it.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to the dumpster behind a Chili's. Today we're going to be taking a little trip down memory lane. Specifically my memory, as I don't have access to anybody else's. And although this video will be filled with personal stories and experiences through my own eyes, I think there will be something in this video for everybody, particularly if you used to be a Viner, or if you were ever just a big fan of Vines. As many of you may know, it's been exactly 1 year since Vine announced that they would be shutting down. It's actually been a little bit more than a year, depending on how long it takes me to make this video.
Close enough.
And although it doesn't feel like it's been that long, a lot has changed in the past year. Now, every once in a while, I will start watching one of the Vine compilations that they're all over YouTube. And I find myself watching these sometimes and seeing someone and being like, what happened to them? Do you ever watch an old Vine? And I'm not just talking about like the popular Viners, like Lele Pons and those sort of people who have moved on to other things, obviously, but some of the one-hit wonder Vines. Like, this guy. What happened to him? And with this being the anniversary of the death of Vine, I figured this would be a perfect opportunity to do a little bit of research and figure out where some of these prominent figures have disappeared to. And because Vine was such an enormously significant part of my life, I wanted to have this one definitive video where I talk about pretty much my entire experience with Vine, how it changed my life, why I think Vine was good, and why I also think Vine was bad, because obviously it had its flaws, otherwise it would still exist today. But for now, let's go ahead and take a deep dive into the first ever segment of Vine. There's supposed to be like a song that...
Where are they now?
Cause some came in the mail today. These nuts. Got him!
I laugh every time. The D's Nuts guy, whose real name is Charles Nuts, is one of the most notorious figures to ever come from Vine. As you all know, Charles went on to host his very own prank show on VH1, the D's Nuts Prank Hour, which ran for 12 seasons and is still the highest rated show in television history. Who can forget that season 6 crossover episode with Ashton Kutcher, where they both thought they were pranking each other? You're pumped! Despite strong ratings throughout its entire 600 episode run, the D's Nuts Prank Hour was canceled back in August when they simply ran out of people to prank. And you can't prank someone twice.
Zach, stop! Zach, stop! You're gonna get in trouble. Zach!
This Vine was called Kicked Too Much, and without a doubt it's one of my favorite Vines ever, but it does leave you with a lot of questions like, why was he kicking so much? Why did his friends keep telling him not to? Well, I guess it makes sense why they told him not to, because he ended up getting arrested. But it's a pretty confusing Vine, and I continued to be confused about this for months until very recently I was just fed up of that and I decided to do a quick Google search, and I found out very quickly that he was simply arrested for reaching the legal kick limit in one day. Afterwards, I became very angry at all the people who didn't do as much research as I did and continued to question this Vine. The answers were right in front of you, you just had to Google it. And although it seems a little harsh that he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, the law is the law. And you have to respect the law.
Iridocyclitis.
Unfortunately, this kid did go on to lose this spelling bee after a late field goal in overtime, but as all stories must have a happy ending, he is currently the mayor of Sacramento.
I'll kill you.
This story does not have a happy ending. After facing the worst public humiliation of his life, this poor guy had to move to a different state where he was unable to get an apartment or even a job because he forgot his wallet.
Who am I? Let's go to the beach! Beach! Nicki Minaj. I'm Corbin Bleu.
Corbin Bleu, one of the most mysterious figures on Vine. After an anonymous Reddit user made a strong case that this Corbin Bleu is not the same Corbin Bleu from the High School Musical franchise, people began to question the true identity of Corbin. However, there is a rumor going around that I think sounds pretty convincing. I apologize in advance for condoning a rumor that doesn't have 100% hard evidence to back it up, but I feel very strongly about this one. Basically, the rumor is that Corbin Bleu is Spider-Man. Now, you may be thinking that's ridiculous. Spider-Man lives in New York, while Corbin Bleu lives on the internet. But there's a pretty convincing argument to be made that these two are, in fact, the same person. For one, let's take a look at Corbin's post schedule. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down to 2015 because there's a pretty noticeable discrepancy in here. Here we go. Corbin posted 3 times on October 16th, 2015, but then he didn't post again until the 28th of October, nearly 2 weeks later. Now, ask yourself, where was Corbin? Now, it stands to reason that if Spider-Man had a Vine account, he wouldn't be able to post every day because he'd be busy fighting the Green Goblin and whatever other villains he has. And this wasn't just a one-time thing, the behavior continues. November 17th he posts, and then not again until December 11th. That's nearly a month. Spider-Man presumably fights a lot of crime and would be very busy. And I imagine this is exactly the kind of post schedule he would be forced to maintain. When you look at all this evidence combined, it seems obvious that there's no other answer possible. Corbin Bleu is Spider-Man. Now, a lot of people assumed that this was Cole Hirsch playing a character just because they have the same Snapchat account and they look very similar. But if you ask me, that isn't really enough evidence to say, oh, they're the same person. Like I said earlier, this video is all about the truth. Everything in this video is true. I did a lot of research to find out all these things about all these people, and I think it would ruin my credibility as a video maker if I condoned such ridiculous rumors without any real hard evidence. Plus, it just seems very obvious that Corbin is Spider-Man. We'll get back to that segment in a moment, but first I want to talk a little bit about why I think Vine was good and also why Vine was bad, because I think both are true. The most important thing I want to make clear in this video is I am 1,000,000% thankful to Vine for what they allowed me to do and where they allowed me to go. I want to talk honestly about what I think some of the problems with Vine were. And I don't think it's that, like I said, I don't think it's that crazy to say that Vine had its flaws because it doesn't exist anymore. But ultimately, I want to make it clear that I love Vine. I appreciate the hell out of Vine and all the employees and the people I met and everyone that allowed me to be where I am today. Vine was a perfect place to start out on the internet, to build a platform from scratch. If you wanted to be an online content creator, Vine was the place to start. It was easy to make Vines, it was easy for your Vines to be seen. Vine was all about ideas, because with Vine, the distance between an idea and the execution of that idea was very short. You could have the idea for a Vine, and within a couple hours, it exists.
Road work ahead? Yeah, I sure hope it does.
And then a few hours past that, it's got a million loops and a bunch of comments and likes, and all this validation is given to you for the idea you had a couple hours ago. So Vine was great in that way, but really what made Vine great was the people on Vine. It was such a fun group of creators to be a part of because everyone was supportive of each other. It'd be so fun to see your friend or just someone you follow and really like. You see a Vine they post, you're like, oh, that's a great idea. That's so funny, that's fantastic. They posted a couple minutes ago, and you know that's gonna go viral. And then you check back a few hours later, it's got the little flame emoji next to the view count. It's #1 on the comedy page. With things like Vine and YouTube, they can only exist with the people using them. And they're only as good as the content creators on the app. And Vine, for the most part, had a fantastic group of creators. And I don't think it was the quality of Vines that led to its demise. Everything that led to its demise was more numbers, they weren't making money, that sort of thing. But I think there was some really great content and really great people on Vine. Now, shifting the focus a little bit to what were some of Vine's flaws. And I think a lot of the things that made Vine good were unfortunately also the things that made Vine doomed to fail. In the same way that Vine was accessible to creators, it was also pretty limiting because it was 6 seconds long. I can't tell you how many times I would sit there trying to edit a Vine shorter and shorter and shorter, and I could get it to like 8 seconds, 9 seconds, and it's just like, I can't make this any shorter. I can't post this on Vine. It was hard to fit a good joke into 6 seconds, and sometimes so many Vines were perfect at that length. But as a creator, you start using Vine, and as your ideas start to get more elaborate, you need to go to other platforms to express those ideas. Even while Vine was still around, through a lot of 2016, I wasn't really using Vine as much because I was trying to figure out, I was at a point where it's like, okay, I've done Vine for a little bit and I feel good about this, I feel good about what I've done, but what's next? And I think a lot of people had that same thing. Vine was this great place to be, but there was always that idea of like, well, I'm not gonna be here forever. So what's next? And that brings me to what I think is pretty much my main point on why I think Vine was always doomed to fail. The way I think of it is everybody has their own career ladder in their head where the top of the ladder represents total creative fulfillment. If you were as successful as you could possibly imagine, what does that look like? And the top of the ladder is different for everybody. Maybe the ultimate fulfillment for you is you want to write a movie, or you want to act in a TV show. You want to be like Dwight from The Office. Maybe that's your ultimate career goal. Or maybe you want to be just famous enough to get 4th place on Dancing with the Stars. It's different for everybody. So while every Vine creator's ladder was slightly different, I think what they all had in common was that Vine was not at the top. In fact, I think Vine, for most people, was the bottom step. It was the first step. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't mean to disparage Vine in any way, but I think for most people, no one had success on Vine and was like, I'm gonna do this forever, because it just didn't seem to work out that way. It didn't seem viable. It was great for starting out, but once you got to a point where it's like, okay, where do I go with this? It was usually the next place to go is somewhere else. So going back to the ladder analogy, if Vine is the first step, that means 2 things. One, it was accessible enough to be reached from the ground, but the ultimate job of the first step of the ladder is to propel you to the next step of the ladder. And so that's what Vine was. It was the 100% necessary first step that would propel people further along. I imagine this type of thing made it very difficult to be an employee at Vine or someone who had a large role at Vine, because they would probably see these very talented people come in and use Vine to go do something else. Like they came and they got what they came for, but ultimately they just needed to leave and do something else. For the rest of my career, no matter what I do, whether I completely fizzle out and never do anything, or whether I go on to be a millionaire movie maker, I will owe my start to Vine. It doesn't matter how talented or funny I think I am recognized now as an online entertainer because of Vine. Failing to express gratitude for the thing that got you where you are now shows a complete and utter lack of self-awareness. Going back to the ladder analogy, it's pretty easy when you're on that second step to look down at the ground and see how far you've come, but let's not forget that when you were on the ground, you couldn't reach that second step without the first one.
Hey Logan!
So these guys were both pretty popular on Vine. I haven't seen much of them in a while though, so I'll have to look into that.
On all levels except physical, I am a wolf.
Shout out to the Twitter follower who sent me this paparazzi photo that was taken a couple weeks ago of this guy. One of the first things you'll notice is that this is a picture of a wolf, and that he is a wolf now. On all levels, including physical.
Take another lap.
Coach, just give me a sec. Give me a sec. Give me a sec to breathe.
This family is such a perfect encapsulation of what made Vine so special. Every once in a while, you'd find someone and just marvel at the fact that they exist, that there's someone out there like that. Because the young girl, J-Ro, is so interesting on her own, the way she sings.
When there's too much drama at school, all you gotta do is walk away.
And even just the way she's branded herself, J-Ro. But on top of that, you add in her uncle.
Who is it?
Your uncle!
Your uncle! Your uncle!
Your uncle! You add in her grandma or her aunt, I'm not actually sure.
It looks so good.
You've got that right, honey, and it's all about the cook. Marvelous.
Also, you look at a Vine like this.
Damn, check out those babes on the beach.
Babes for days.
Which makes sense, you know, it has a setup and a punchline, but then you realize that the babes for days that they're talking about, 2 of them are like 10 years old. We're just gonna gloss over that.
I got your drink.
This makes me miss Vine, because this reminds me of like all the weird people you discover, and they leave you with so many questions. Who are these people? What is this family? And why don't they have their own reality show? Well, I actually found out that they do. Uncle's Home will premiere its first season next month as a YouTube Red exclusive.
Hey, mailman, what do you got?
Just this letter.
Jonathan, I don't love you anymore.
In my opinion, Danny was one of the best Viners. He was very popular because he was able to make Vines that were relatable enough for everybody to understand, but they were so much better than all of the other relatable Vines and Viners that existed, because he's a legitimately hilarious person. If you liked him on Vine, he's still making YouTube videos now, and if you're not already subscribed, you should go check him out. The only thing with Danny, and he might get mad that I even brought this up, but I feel like I should say something about this, because if you click on any of his videos, all the comments are about this. But a few months ago, Danny was diagnosed with permanently upside down disease. For those of you who don't know, it's basically a disease where an otherwise healthy person's physical body is upside down permanently. You know, Danny's a really funny guy, but it admittedly can be kind of tough to watch his videos because it's so disorienting to see someone who's just upside down the whole time. Like I said, all his comments are about that. People seem to be frustrated and confused. But props to Danny for not just editing the video so it looks like he's right side up, because if he were to do that, then he would no longer be raising awareness for a very real condition that affects millions of persons. And that's something you simply can't put a price on. If you ask me though, I think he needs to fucking fix that shit in Premiere. It's gross, and I don't like it. Without a doubt, the best memory I have from Vine, and one of the best memories I have from my whole life so far, is getting to work on Camp Unplug.
Camp Unplug? More like Camp Fun Plug. More like Camp Butt Plug.
It's on my jacket. For those of you who don't know what Camp Unplug is, that's probably most of you, let me explain it. So in March of 2016, I got a message on Twitter from this guy Jeremy who works at Vine, and at first I couldn't believe it was real. He asked if I wanted to be a part of this series that they had written and were gonna film over the summer, and they were gonna fly us out to this camp in Wisconsin, and then they were gonna take us to VidCon as like featured creators, and they were gonna do all these things and pay for all this stuff for us. Almost everybody on the list I had heard of and was a fan of their Vines, so not only was I gonna be a part of this awesome thing, but I'd get to meet all these people. Up until this point, I hadn't met, except for maybe a couple other Viners who happened to live in Orlando. I hadn't really met any creators from Vine, and so it was so exciting to meet these people who I had watched for all this time and actually meet them in real life. It also made me a little nervous because I didn't know if I think I'm funnier in real life than I was on Vine, but there was also part of me that was like, oh, I hope they like me, which is pretty much just my constant mental state before I do anything. What was so cool about it was that they gave us a script. Chris Melberger, Aaron Tuning, and Jeremy wrote a great script, but everything within the whole project was also 100% collaborative. So the first night we got there, we're sitting down at the table reading the whole script, and we're all doing our lines, and anytime someone had an idea, like, oh, maybe my character should say this instead, it was like, there was never any sense of like, maybe you should just do what's in the script. You know, it was like, everyone had their own ideas, and everyone's ideas were listened to. Another thing that specifically for me that was so cool that I got to be invited to this was like, at the time when they first asked me, I think I only had like 100,000 followers, which it's good, but there were probably thousands of people who had more followers than me. Certainly just among the group of people there, most of the people there had over 1 million. They were some of the biggest Viners. I know Cody had about 2 million, Danny had over 1 million, maybe he had 2 million at the time. Lauren Giraldo had like 3 million. Victor Pope, all these people had so many more followers than I did. If it wasn't for this, I don't think I would have ever had any Vines with any of these people, just because I don't live in LA. I didn't then, and I still don't. And nobody lives in Florida, except for like Tiger Woods, but I don't know if that would be a good PR move if I had started collaborating with Tiger Woods. In conjunction with the release of Camp Unplug was also Vine's release of this feature where you could attach longer videos to your Vines. And that was really the only way this story could be told on the Vine platform. It couldn't just be a bunch of little 6-second scenes. So the way Camp Unplug was told was you'd have these like 2 to 5 minute long scenes. Then as these fictional campers have some downtime, they get into their own little antics.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Good. Maybe we could.
Sorry, I won't. You go.
Okay,
you and I go.
You should jump.
Oh, piss off.
Off this? Fine, I will.
It was so cool to be a part of that. You're probably waiting for me to like get to the point here. Right now it's just me gushing about these memories I have and the people I got to meet. But that's all it is. I look back and I gush at the fact that I got to do this. Like I alluded to, they also invited us to VidCon. Now, if you've never been to VidCon, and I'd like to go back, but this was my one and only time going to VidCon so far. VidCon's crazy. VidCon it's a whole different world, because you've got this entire subsection of humanity all compact into one place. I don't know if I'll ever feel like as much of a celebrity as I did that weekend. The fact that I was technically a featured creator, they had their whole booth set up. It was one of the ones near the front. They had these big LED screens, and my big dumb face would cycle through every once in a while, so that was crazy. Oh, they also took us to Disneyland, which was awesome. They rented out this whole section of a Denny's nearby, so every night between like 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. or something, you know, you'd have all these drunk creators going there. All the food was free. You could order whatever you wanted off the menu, and it was so free to the point where you would see, like, people would come in drunk and order something and then not wait for it, and you just see like a big stack of nachos just untouched. We Vine celebrities really abused the hell out of that whole experience. But definitely one of the best experiences of my life, and something that I felt like I had to talk about. You know, if I'm gonna make this whole video, fuck, I'm so glad I get to take this off now. It is so hot. It's like 80 degrees in my apartment because I have to turn the AC off while I film because it's very loud, and Jesus Christ, I feel good. This feels good now, so. Hello! Yeah, can I just get like a raw potato and a spoon? And then just an egg to drink. Thank you, sweetheart. Oh, hey, we're back.
Two bros chilling in the hot tub, 5 feet apart cause they're not gay.
Now, this was a pretty big headline at the time, so I'm sure you guys already heard about this. But basically, as the night went on, the two bros, so as to not be confused for being in a homosexual relationship, slowly drifted further and further apart from each other until they both ended up in the middle of the ocean where they were tragically eaten by two different dolphins. Sources later revealed that those dolphins were, in fact, married, and that is ironically a pretty gay way to die. Legend has it that this boy is still running. No one knows where he is or how far he's run or if he'll ever come back. His friends have moved on, and so has his family. They've replaced his room with a room that's just filled with water all the time. No one goes in and no one comes out.
Tyrone, you know this, your baby!
Father?
That baby don't look like me. That baby don't look like
Cole LeBrant, the whitest and boysiest member of Dim White Boys. If not from Vine, you may know Cole from his YouTube channel, where he and his wife like to film her 3-year-old daughter getting hurt. You may also know him from that time he tweeted about losing his virginity on his wedding night, and then blocked me when I made a really good joke about it. Cole, I wasn't making fun of you for waiting to lose your virginity. I think that's awesome. If that's your belief, that you want to wait till you're married to have sex, and you actually do, that's great, man. That's awesome. I'm proud of you for that. I was making fun of the fact that presumably moments after you finished having sex for the very first time, you pulled out your phone and said, just had sex. No, I'm not gonna talk about it. I could talk about this for hours. You guys would not believe the restraint it took to not make a video about this a couple months ago. I have a lot to say, but I didn't want to stir the pot any more than I already did, because Cole, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He's just really, really bad at the internet.
Good credit, bad credit, no problem. Or you dead? Fuck it, ghost credit. I'm gonna get a Subaru.
Victor Pope Jr. is sincerely one of the funniest people I've ever met. He is such a natural comedian, and he was so good at Vine. Right now he's in LA doing stand-up. He's also done a couple things with Super Deluxe that are just such high quality. I'm gonna link those in the description because I think they're so funny and well made, and I think you should check them out. But that being said, a lot of people are asking about this ghost. We all want to know, did he ever get his Subaru? Unfortunately, he was riding his bike on his way to the Subaru dealer to potentially get his new car, but on the way he was captured by the ragtag group of paranormal experts on the show Ghost Adventures. The good news is he was the first real ghost that was ever captured by one of those entirely fake reality ghost television shows. The bad news is, of course, he is trapped in eternal captivity, but it's probably for the best because his credit score really is just terrible.
Adam! Hi, welcome to Chili's.
Adam and Patrick Perkins, who you might know as Packy, were twins who blew up on Vine in the summer of 2015, and they seemed poised to become the next big Vine stars. That is, until a couple months went by and they sort of just stopped posting. Perhaps they started to feel the pressure of having a lot of people paying attention to them, or maybe they just wanted to have normal lives. They were about to start college, and maybe they just wanted to focus on that, which is fine. Not everybody has to be famous. They still have an online presence, mostly on Instagram, a little bit on Twitter, but despite limited information, I was able to dig up that the Perkins twins are now the Perkins triplets. That's right, through the passage of time and the miracle of life, a new Perkins boy has spawned. And dare I say, he might even be the cutest. And now, we take a moment to reflect on some of the people we've lost.
Would you not eat my pants?
They're not dead. I just don't know what happened to them.
Kids, I'm gonna tell you an incredible story. The story of how I met your mother.
Okay, Dad. I started Vine pretty late in the game. I didn't start until about February 2015. And so to set the scene a little bit, at the time I had just dropped out of college for like the third time, and I was working at Popeyes. I knew I wanted to be a comedian for a living. Like I knew I wanted to pursue that, but I didn't know how. I was doing improv at the time, but I wasn't that good at improv. But I saw what some other people were doing on Vine and how Vine itself had sort of evolved in the year and a half or so that it had been around. And that piqued my interest. And so I looked at that and I was like, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. I'm going to be good at Vine. And then so I started Vine, and I wasn't good at Vine. I was pretty bad at it when it started, and I think I deleted like 90% of the things I posted. But I guess mathematically that does mean that every 10th thing I posted was not that bad. So, you know, after a couple months, I eventually got a little bit better. I accumulated some good Vines. So after slowly crawling my way up from 50 followers to like 250 followers, finally in April, a couple of my Vines got pretty big. I got a Joe Jonas re-Vine. That's just sort of a tale as old as time. You know, how many comedians don't have Joe Jonas to thank for their initial start? So then after that, I went from like 300 followers to 30,000 or so followers in like a couple weeks, which was a type of success I had never experienced on the internet before. It was amazing. And then I got reached out to from someone at Tosh.0 asking if they could use my Vine on the show. And I was like, of course.
I want to talk to you guys about abortion. Nice try, Drew. Man, always want to tell me.
Ow!
Damn, it feels good to be.
So in such a short amount of time, I went from an absolute nobody who worked at Popeyes to a person who had a very small amount of internet success who still worked at Popeyes. So not much of a change, I guess. But it was, you know, it was a lot of cool things all at once. However, the coolest thing that happened, and I'm only explaining all this to sort of give a little bit of a backstory, the most important thing that happened to me during this period of other important things happened right before. A girl commented on one of my Vines, specifically this Vine.
That moment when you have two phones so you don't know which one is ringing.
I'm using the other one to record.
And she said, OMG, you are so cute, and your Vines are like pure liquid gold. Now, a normal person in this situation would probably just ignore this comment, or at the very least, smile and move on with their lives. But me, a not normal person, decided to do the opposite and pursue it heavily. You have to understand, at the time, I was very lonely. And like a good detective, I was not about to turn down such a promising lead. I found her Instagram page from her Vine bio, and I looked at a couple pictures, was like, holy shit, she's perfect. And then so I messaged her, I got her phone number, we started texting, and got along really well. You know, everything was great, except, oh shit, she lives in Arizona, and I lived in Orlando. So that was kind of a bummer. But we got along really well. We kind of liked each other right away. And so it was like, you know, no pressure. We don't have to commit to anything. Let's just keep talking. And so we talked every day, like I said. We texted every day for like a week. And then after a week, she wanted to FaceTime. And I was very nervous to FaceTime because I'm nervous to do anything. But I agreed, and I called her. So we FaceTimed for 6 hours, 7 hours maybe, the whole night. So not only did we talk from the moment I got home from work until the moment I had to go to bed so I could wake up for work the next day, but during the 7-hour FaceTime, she bought a plane ticket to come see me. So I think less than a week into talking to someone who I've never met, we agreed to come see each other and not murder each other. I remember like the couple months before, like we bought the ticket and then, but we didn't plan to see each other till like June. So it was a couple months, and her family kept making fun of her and her friends like, oh, you're definitely going to get catfished. The thing that, I mean, we felt pretty good because we did FaceTime and we could see that we were real people. Like I still could have murdered her if I wanted to, but I didn't want to. Because things went pretty well. And luckily she didn't murder me either. I think the best thing I had going for me at the time, even though I worked full-time at a fast food restaurant, was that I lived in Orlando, which is kind of a funny thing to say because generally nothing good comes from being a Floridian. But I will say Orlando is a very good place to live if you want to host someone from out of town for a few days, because you've got Disney, you've got Universal, which is way better than Disney, you've got SeaWorld, which, just kidding, don't go to SeaWorld, and then you've got the beach in like every direction. So we did all of that, except for SeaWorld, obviously, because fuck SeaWorld. But I remember it being a little awkward at first. It was definitely the first time either of us had done something like this where we talked to someone for like a few months before meeting them, you know? And like you can text someone all day, every day, and talk on the phone every once in a while, but it's still gonna be a little bit different when you finally meet in person. I think we had both kind of set up expectations, and it was a little bit weird like the first day. But then the next 4 days or 3 days or whatever were like the best days ever. And every day was better than the one before, and we just liked each other so much by the end of it that it was like, all right, well, we can't not do this. You know, it's gonna be tough to do long distance, but we can't just stop. It was something that wouldn't have worked if we didn't like each other as much as we did, because long distance relationships do suck, and there were plenty of difficult times. As you can see in these pictures, I was not always happy. It worked out because we were both like 21 or 22, and we both still had to like kind of get our own lives in order. A long distance relationship can be good in that way, you know, because it's like you have a couple months, at least for us, we had a couple months to focus on ourselves. And I got a better job eventually, and I was getting better at Vine because I could focus on that. And then every like 2 or 3 months, you have a 4-day vacation together. So it actually worked out all right, you know, and we did that for like a year and a half. And I have a lot of great memories from that. Everything was great. Until the accident. Just kidding, this story has a happy ending. Now, I think the most romantic ending possible for the story would be how I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't do long distance. I had to be with the woman of my dreams. So I drove across the country, and I just showed up at her doorstep one day, and I popped out a ring and I said, "Will you marry me?" And she was crying, and she said, "Yes, I will do that." And then we would be married, and then immediately I'd get her pregnant, and we would raise the kid into like the next Superman or something, and then he would be, I don't know what I'm saying. And then we would drive my 2012 Honda Civic into the sunset, and we would live happily ever after. That's sort of what happened, but it was more like, hey, we don't want to do long distance anymore, but we still like each other. So let's move to the same place, and if you're gonna move to me, then I gotta give you this ring so I can show you that I'm committed too. And so that's what we did. She picked out the ring, I paid for it. Quick side note, fellas, if you can get your girl to pick out your ring for you, do it. It's a huge relief. It's a huge decision you now don't have to make. You only have to spend like, 2/3 of your life savings on it. But she moved to Orlando. She got the first 2 jobs she applied for, and she's still working both of those, and she loves it here. I hope. I love it here. I love to be with her. I get to live with my best friend. I get to sleep in the same bed as her every night, which actually we both agree isn't that good. We're kind of thinking of getting bunk beds, so we can have our own space. But it's just like every time I think about it, and we talk about this, we love to tell this story. I met my wife, my future wife, because a girl commented on a video I made. The stupidest video ever that I made. She was like, "Oh, you're cute." And I'm like, me, the horny, desperate 21-year-old, was like, "You're cute too. Let's kiss. Let's talk and stuff." And then we did, and then now we're in the same house and we're married in principle. Life's freaking crazy. And Vine is the best. Really, my main reason for telling this story is to show all of the people out there who watch my videos, and I'm so appreciative of you guys, but I know there's some of you, a lot of you who watch my videos and you don't give a shit about Vine. You didn't follow me on Vine. My YouTube account is so different than what I made on Vine. It's like, I understand that people watch my videos and they don't always like my Vines. Now I hope by telling you, by showing you the things I got to do because of Vine, the fact that it is the reason I met my wife, I hope you guys understand now why Vine is so important to me, why Vine was the most amazing experience for me, and why I will always cherish this beloved app. Some takeaways from this story. Do I think the first time a cute girl comments something nice on a thing you make, that you should get married to her? Not every time. Maybe a small percentage of the time you should do that. But it worked for me. I hope that this story showed you guys that there is hope out there if you just shoot your shot. You know, if you think someone is cute on the internet, tell them they're cute. Maybe you'll be dating them in the next 2 months. Or maybe if you tell someone they're cute too much, then they'll put out a restraining order for you. And then that's cool too, you know, because it's like what better way to show that you notice someone than by getting a lawyer involved? So I think it's a win-win. Always shoot your shot. Always respect Vine, because I love it. And always don't do long distance. Always never do long distance, because long distance is trash. I've already talked to you for about 8 hours now about Vine, so I think it's time we start wrapping this up. Well, that's it, I guess. Video's over. At this point, I've spent so long making this video that I don't even know if it's good anymore. We'll see. As you can tell, it's taking quite the physical toll on me. My hair is a lot longer. I've grown out a full beard, or at least my version of that. The last thing I want to address, and I'll try to make this quick, is the recent news that I guess one of the founders of Vine is working on his own, quote, follow-up app to Vine. He wasn't super specific on any details other than just to, like, keep an eye out. A lot of people were pretty excited about this. A lot of people were a little bit more skeptical about this. For me, I don't know. I mean, I just made a 12-hour video about how I loved Vine, but honestly, I don't know if I want it to come back. At least not in whatever form this entails. A follow-up app sounds like something that's similar to Vine, but isn't Vine, so let's say that's what it is. It's a similar app to Vine, but it's not called Vine. It's called, like, Loops. Loops with a Z, of course. And to make it stand out, we're gonna add in more features that weren't originally on Vine. For example, now you're not limited to 6 seconds. You can do a full 15-second video, and it still loops. Again, Loops with a Z. Also, you'll be able to make a daily story, because every social media app seems to have stories in it. In addition, you can also post pictures. So if you just want to give like a little quick update to your fans on, oh shit, I think we just made Instagram. Okay, so Vine comes back, and it's just called Vine, or God forbid, Vine 2. Vine 2 comes out, and it's exactly the same as Vine was. Well, part of the reason Vine failed initially was that they were always losing money. And so you're going to need to add some sort of monetization system in place. Otherwise, Vine 2 is going to end up with the same fate as Vine 1. So now you have an app that's the same as Vine was, except with, let's assume, ads in between vines or like in the corner of the screen or whatever. So it's a lesser product because it's now been diluted by ads. It also no longer has the novelty value that Vine had when it first came out, because that was like 5 years ago at this point. And on top of this, it doesn't offer anything that isn't already available on another platform. Not to be cynical, but I am being cynical, I don't think it would work out. I think people would be really excited about it for a month, and then they're gonna stop using it like they did before. The creators are gonna slowly leave because there's more profitable uses of their time elsewhere, and as they leave, the content on the app will dwindle, and so will the users who use it, and it will have the same exact end as the original Vine did. Except I don't picture it lasting 3 years this time, I picture it lasting like 3 months. Call me cynical, but that's just how I see it. We all have wonderful Vine memories. But sometimes, it's okay for something to just be a memory. Good things can still come to an end. I have great memories from childhood. That doesn't mean I want to be 8 again. I love being an adult. I can do whatever I want. I look back on Vine with all the love in the world, but that doesn't mean it has to exist again for me to cherish it. You can cherish memories. Let it rest. Move on. It's in the past. Even if it comes back, it'll never be the same as it was. And that's all right. Maybe I'm wrong, and I would love to be proven wrong. Something I have had to come to terms with, selfishly, is that I think I'm glad that Vine ended. Just because I know the type of person I am. I embrace complacency like nobody's business. When things are going well for me, I don't always have the same motivation to work as hard as I should,
because I'm content. And that's something I'm trying to improve about myself. That's something I've gotten a little better at over time. But I know that a year ago, Vine dying was the catalyst for me to figure out what I was going to do next. If Vine never went away, I don't know if I ever would have started YouTube. I always wanted to, but I never felt like I needed to, because I was a famous Viner. I had 400,000 followers on Vine. I didn't want to start from scratch on YouTube and have to do like 100 times more work and learn how to use a real editing program that wasn't just iMovie on my phone. My thought process at the time was, why would I do all of that extra work when I already had Vine? And then one day, Vine died, and everything I had spent 2 years building up was pulled out from under me. I was upset, I was angry, I regretted the fact that I hadn't tried to spread my followers around to other places on the internet. I, like hundreds of other Viners, put all of my eggs in the Vine basket. And then the basket broke. It exploded, destroying all of my eggs in the process. And now I'm infertile. But when Vine went away, my safety net went away with it. And so I had to deal with being irrelevant again for several months, and I had to try new things. I had to try different types of content, and a lot of it didn't work. Some of it did. Eventually I figured out what people liked and what I liked doing. I worked hard. I got super lucky, emphasis on that. And now I'm about to quit my job to do YouTube full time. And that's something that, even at the height of my Vine success, I never even fathomed the possibility of quitting my full-time job to just do Vine full-time. That was never a possibility for me. And so, if I'm being 100% honest, which, like I said, this video is all about the truth, for selfish reasons, I think I'm glad that Vine died. Feels good to get that off my chest. I loved Vine. And now I love YouTube. I'm ecstatic to be able to do what I'm doing now, and I'm so excited to get to continue to do it and see where my channel goes and where it takes me, and if I ever get to be on the H3 podcast, because that's all I really want. The good news is I've learned from my mistakes. Vine taught me to never put all of my eggs in one basket, because you never know what's going to happen. And that's a mistake I don't think I'm going to make again. Except obviously with YouTube, because I don't think YouTube's going anywhere. YouTube's infallible. They've gotten a lot of good PR lately, and I just feel comfortable. All right, guys, that's it. I want to thank all my beautiful little stinkers out there for watching this entire video. If you didn't watch the whole video, then it doesn't really matter because you didn't see this part anyway. Now that I'm finally done with this massive project, I have a lot of ideas that I haven't had any time to focus on, so lots of more content coming, lots of new content is what I meant to say. And I could have just said, I hadn't already said the thing that I was gonna mess up. I also have an exciting merch announcement coming pretty soon, and I don't think that I'm being too hyperbolic when I say this is going to be the greatest merch of all time. Seriously, guys, I'm changing the game, so I hope you're ready for that. All right, well, I don't really know what else to say now. I think it would be funny if after the world's longest video, I end it by just cutting myself off in the middle of a sentence. Hey guys, welcome back to the UPS truck I stole while the driver was going to the bathroom. Here's a real quote from an Instagram ad I got yesterday. "My teeth are so clean. If they were the floor, I'd eat off them. I would eat off of my teeth if my teeth were the floor, because that's how clean they are." Lisa, I don't know who you are, but that is one of the weirdest marketing quotes I've ever heard in my life. Even weirder, it was an ad for toilet paper? Another thing I've noticed more lately is that these sponsored posts are coming up with more and more ways to manipulate me.
This is your sign to go buy these pants.
No, it's an ad. It's not a sign from the universe. Oh, is God telling me to buy these pants? No, you are. You paid money to show this to me. Eat a dick. So anyway, I've been pretty upset about that for the past 6 weeks. But I took a break from being pissed off at these companies for just long enough to buy a few of these products to test them out myself. You know the drill. I don't even know why I'm explaining. Now, Now, I'm not exactly known for my awesome hair. I think Danny and Curtis have me beat in that department. But maybe my problem is my outdated method of style. For the past few years, I just used some kind of paste that I bought from Target, I think, and I rub it around my scalp until I get bored of rubbing my scalp, and then I shrug and walk away. So that's kind of my process. But this right here could very well change the game.
You can go from this to this, faster than the time it'd take you to finish watching this ad. Don't believe me?
Don't believe me? This ad is 4 hours long, just in case.
Just sprinkle some tribal chimp hairstyling powder on your hair and style with your fingers. It's that easy.
Can you believe I didn't even have to go to a salon for this? Also, I love how almost every product I buy in these videos starts off like, hey, I know you don't know anything about us, you've never tried it, and you don't even know if it works, but would you like to go ahead and buy 12? No, I'm good with just the one for now, thanks. They say multiple times on the website that you're saving money. How? This costs money. It doesn't seem to be any cheaper than, again, the random paste that I bought from Target. Maybe they just say it saves you money because it doesn't cost the fake price that they pretended it was. You know, these things used to be $41 billion, so this sale is mathematically equivalent to being 100% off. Here's something I've never seen before. When I was just about to finish checking out, they asked me for a tip, which I have to say, the balls on these guys to ask for more money just because? It's kind of impressive, honestly, so I'll go ahead and give them $1 extra just for the audacity. But in return, I do expect impeccable service. All right, next up is one I saw a lot before Valentine's Day. I had a few people ask me about this directly, so I figured I'd try it out myself. It's called the Love Box. Man, where was this when Amanda and I did long distance for a year? So many styles to choose from. Should I get the one for grandparents? I'm dying to know why this one is specifically only for elderly couples, but I'll just go ahead and get the standard one for now. Not a whole lot to say about this before I buy it. It basically just seems like a slightly more romantic but significantly more expensive way to send a text. Now let's get into the truly dumb shit. They're little chopsticks for your hands. I'm so excited to put this to the test. I can use it while writing scripts, while gaming with the boys. Hell, maybe if I bought one of these 2 years ago, my keyboard wouldn't be so dirty. The one thing I definitely do want to give them credit for is being so self-aware. A lot of companies take themselves way too seriously, and it feels pretentious when it's for some bullshit product. It'll be some guy giving a 4-minute TED talk about how his idea is changing the world and how many testimonials he gets every single day from people telling him that he saved their life. And then it's an ad for like pants. When I saw them describe this as completely unnecessary but pretty cool with features like non-permanent body modification, I was like, all right, maybe they're not that bad, I guess. So I bought one. Speaking of solving problems no one actually has, I would like to introduce you to my favorite product for this video.
Are we really expected to dress up when we're working from home? I'm over it.
You're telling me?
Introducing the Work Oneie. It's a full button-down professional t-shirt with ultra-soft leisure pants made into a onesie.
I'm comfortable all day wearing this. I can hang at home looking professional and feeling comfortable at the same time. There's even a flap on the back, just in case.
Just in case what? Come on, don't beat around the bush. I want you to come out and say that this product has a butt flap you can poop through.
One of my absolute favorite purchases of the year. Get one for yourself today. You won't regret it.
All right, well, we'll see. Look, I totally understand the work shirt plus comfy pants combo. I've actually been doing the opposite for years. You probably don't even realize it because you only see t-shirts when I film, but I'm actually wearing tuxedo pants right now. So I get it, you know, if you can't see my legs, it doesn't matter what I'm wearing down there. But why does it have to be attached? Why can't I just wear a button-up shirt and then separately also wear sweatpants? This is the one that started it all. All of what? A button-down professional looking shirt, ultra leisure bottoms, flap in the rear just in case. And if that wasn't enough, watch this for some reason silent video. Now are you convinced? What, you didn't believe that we actually stapled these things together? Read it and weep, cowboy. And it's convenient too, because the oneie is ready to wear. Unlike your other clothes, which have to go through a lengthy preparation process before my body will accept them. The cozy joggers on your oneie will have you forgetting you're in the middle of a workday. Well, I drive a school bus, so that sounds dangerous. Plus a butt flap. Need we say more? No. But again, I would love it if you did. 5 stars. It's gotten cold where I live recently, and this keeps me warm. Yep, that's because it's clothes, Howard. That's what clothes do. 5 stars. 5 stars. 5 stars. I guess one of the problems I'm realizing now with a product like this is, what size do I get? What if I'm tall, but I have a little chest and wide, beautiful hips? You'd think in the 1800 years they've been around, they would have figured this out by now, but apparently not. I guess I'll just get a large. And I thought that this was the end of that saga. Until immediately after I bought this, Instagram did like the least helpful thing possible and advertised an almost identical product from a different company. It's called a tuxie, and there is no way in hell I'm gonna pass up the opportunity to do a direct comparison. The main difference is, of course, this isn't so much a business on top, party on the bottom kind of thing. It's more like 2 halves of a jogger set that have been sewn together for absolutely no reason. I am so confused by these things. Is it a common complaint that a sweatshirt and sweatpants are too difficult to put on separately? What is the issue being solved here? Was someone getting pantsed so often that they decided to make it an all or nothing deal? On top of that, tuxie is stupidly expensive, $200. And they don't even have a butt flap. As of now, this jogger only has 1 review, and it's positive, but this YouTube video I clicked on only has 1 comment, and it's negative. So I don't know who to believe. I have microscopically low expectations for these. I love sweatpants. I love to lounge. Never in my life have I thought, you know what would make me more comfortable right now? If I couldn't go to the bathroom without getting completely naked first. But hey, at least Honey woke up from a 3-year hibernation to save me about $40, so things are looking up. Okay, last up is one of the most targeted ads I've seen in a very long time. A few months ago, I had been on kind of a jigsaw puzzle kick. I know, humble brag. But once the algorithm picked up on this, it was game over for me. I just started getting puzzles shoved down my throat left and right. This one in particular even uses my birthday in the ad. I haven't felt this attacked since before I deleted my Facebook. Really what I want to do is expose this entire operation. They claim that there is a possible solution for every single day of the year. Well, I call bullshit. So I'm gonna buy one and prove them wrong by not being able to solve it. Wait, what's my plan? First things first, I gotta do something about this. Sure, I may look exactly as dumb as I used to in middle school, but at least I have tribal chimp hair dirt.
I wanna put some dirt in
my hair. Cool. A bunch of it already spilled out the top like a thing of baby powder. This is nice.
What was I supposed to do again?
Just sprinkle some tribal chimp hairstyling powder on your hair and style with your fingers.
And in my eyes and mouth. Right, let me put some on my hand. I think that's the problem. Maybe my hair's too long for this. I don't know. I feel like I'm not doing it right. Do I have to use like a shit ton of it? He didn't use very much in the video. That's close to how I usually do it. But if I feel like as soon as I start walking, the movement from my walk will just shift it all down. This is probably good for like a more subtle hairstyle, but I like to have mine up for some reason. I don't know. I started doing my hair that way 6 years ago and just like, okay, I guess this is my hair now. You know, I can't veer from that. I gotta do the same thing forever. I have really fine, straight hair that just, as you saw, just goes straight down, but this adds like more texture to it, which is fun. Just a little bit more. I think I'm making it worse. Oh, fuck. It's like everywhere. Oh, this is Bim Bim's bathroom, by the way. You're only allowed to come in here if you're wearing a shirt with her face on it. I mean, I don't want to say the product is bad. I'll try it again when I get a haircut. I think if I had shorter hair, it wouldn't have to do as much work. It looks pretty interesting until I turn my head and looks like I just took a nap on this side. Maybe if I try the dab method. All right, I think I'm just gonna have to ride with this for the rest of the video. Not exactly how I would normally do it. Kind of looks like I'm wearing a wig now. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to feel a little underdressed.
This is a place of business, after all. Hey, fun fact about Work Oneies, the website no longer exists. I did manage to have it sent to me in time, but yeah, if you go to workoneies.com, it's just like, well, I don't know what that is. Which is a little disappointing because if I really like this, you know, I can never get another one, I can't recommend it to anybody, but also it makes sense. It was a business that was kind of always doomed to fail, that relied on a gimmick that wore off like 2 years ago.
Look, you got a butt flap.
So rest in peace, Work Oneies. In honor of your memory though, I will be wearing the absolute shit out of this. Wow. It's even more professional than I imagined. It looks about right. I really love how visible the stitching is on the front of the shirt. Like you can see a clear line across where they've sewn the two things together. Wait, how do I put this on? Do I have to unbutton it all the way and then step into the top? This is the dumbest invention. This is so much more convenient than putting two articles of clothing on separately. Oh yeah, I'm ready for work now. Well, right away, I can tell you I'm glad I got a large because this feels tight. If I had gotten a medium, I don't think I would have been able to wear it at all. Weird, I can't seem to raise my arms up all the way. It's almost as if there's something tugging at the bottom of my shirt. Oh, that's right, it's my pants. Imagine I'm typing an Excel document. Hello, boss. You wanted to see me? You're firing me? Because I sewed sweatpants to my work shirt? This is crazy. It's almost like I'm wearing actual clothes. So, question about the butt flap. I'm wearing underwear right now, because obviously I'm gonna do that. But if I were to, you know, go to the bathroom out the back, I would have to not be wearing underwear because even with the butt flap, the underwear would get in the way, you understand what I'm saying? So everyone's just like raw dogging this thing. I suppose if I wanted to wear underwear, which I do, I could open the butt flap, sit down, pull my underwear down far enough under my pants still, and then just kind of poop through the hole. Probably wouldn't be able to use my bidet, because then I'm just gonna get my pants all wet. The important thing is though, I mean, I look like a freaking businessman. And if I crop it just enough that you can't see what's down there, you're going to assume very nice khakis, not very cheap sweatpants. But just overall experience would have been a lot nicer if they were separate. I have to confess something. I'm really bad at this puzzle. When I first unboxed this, it was February 1st, and I managed to get that day's answer in like a minute. And I was like, hell yeah, this puzzle's made for me. I'm gonna dominate this shit. It has been over a month and a half, and that's still the only one I've been able to solve. I can get so close. I've gotten February 423rd, I've got the 1724th, I even managed Saturday, March 15th. But oh my god, I don't know how I did this on my first try. I realized when comparing this to the original ad that this one does actually seem more difficult because they've added in the day of the week too. So I'm basically playing on hard mode. But still, no excuses, I'm ashamed, I thought I was the puzzle king. It turns out, in fact, that I was wrong. Now, there's a chance that maybe this company's full of shit, and some of them actually aren't possible to solve. The problem is, of course, I will never be able to prove that, because the issue could just be that I'm a big dumb idiot. Love box? I hardly know box. Thanks. Honestly, this thing's pretty cool. We've been using it for like a month. It's a fun replacement for good morning texts. That's kind of the only time we really use it is before I go to bed. I'll like schedule one for the morning for Amanda, or she'll do the same for me, which works because we wake up at drastically different times. You send stuff from an app and it's got some pre-made stuff in there. It's a cool way to send a little I love you message, or, you know, a meme from 6 years ago. Like there's a lot of things you could text someone that aren't really that funny, but for some reason, if you send it through this thing and they go through the process of like opening it up and it's on like a physical object, it just makes it 10 times funnier. The photos have to be like a really specific size, which is kind of annoying. So it could be better. It's also, like I said, we've been using it for a month. I think the novelty kind of wore off. We were using it a bunch and now we do it maybe once a week when we remember about it. But if you're really struggling to get someone like an anniversary gift or a Valentine's Day gift, I know there's 11 months until Valentine's Day, but I actually don't know when you're watching this. You could be watching this on February 13th, 2028. I didn't realize until after I bought one how insanely popular these things are on TikTok. We're talking like millions of likes. So there's probably plenty of reviews on YouTube for this already, but as far as I'm concerned, it's an okay product.
Uh-oh, guys, I think I spoke too soon. You know how these things cost like $150, and if you don't live with your partner and you want to get two, you're gonna spend like $300 on these? Well, apparently that's not enough for Lovebox, because now they've added a subscription service for $5 a month. So if you want to use like 90% of their stupid templates that have words spelled wrong and they spent like an hour working on, you have to pay more money. I gotta pay $5 a month to ask my wife if she likes sunsets? Have I not given you enough money already? I just feel kind of duped here. Like, they obviously did a really big marketing push, got a bunch of people to buy them, and now after the fact they're adding the subscription service. When we first got this, there were locked templates, but you could unlock them with credits, and you would get credits by sending messages. So it kind of incentivized you to send messages every day. It was actually kind of a neat system. But now the credits don't do that anymore, so like, what are they even for? I have 152 digital coins and they don't do anything, but I could still earn them? Why? It's not like you have to subscribe to this to use the product, but it's still kind of scummy that they added this in so late. So that's just something to keep in mind if you do buy one of these.
Well, I think that's enough work for one day. What do you say we go ahead and change into something a little more comfortable?
I'm never gonna wear this ever again.
This one shipped from Canada. At least this one has more elastic in it. The other one, because it was stitched together, like there was no flexibility at all. So how are you guys doing? Now we're talking. It's definitely more comfortable. I mean, I would hope so for $200 fucking dollars. Clearly it'll be easier to get in and out of too, because it's just got a big zipper as opposed to unbuttoning 30 buttons and then putting them back on. But I don't like how the zipper, how like I can always feel the zipper. Not poking like it's sharp, but it's just like pressing against my body, and I don't like that. I mean, I haven't really looked at myself in the mirror yet, but just looking on the screen of my camera, it almost feels more like Jedi robes than anything else. The main difference for me though is that I actually like sand. I don't know, what do you guys think? Is this worth $200? It feels good, it feels comfortable. I feel like though, and this is just a guess, if I wanted to get a similar outfit that also had the flexibility of being in two separate pieces, I could have saved a lot of money and been just as comfortable. Cool. Well, I guess the only thing left to do now is time to eat stuff. I set myself up for a transition there and I don't remember what I said. Now, every so often, an invention will come along that changes the course of humanity, whether it's sliced bread or the automobile or little chopsticks for your hands. Okay, so it goes between your fingers and you just kind of squeeze together. However, for this to be an authentic experience, I can't be fully focused on the snacks I'm eating, otherwise I would just eat them with my hands. I have to be doing something else. So while I'm testing these snacks, I will be playing my favorite video game, which is, of course, Wheel of Fortune for the Xbox 360. For this experiment, I tried to get 3 snacks of varying sizes to test effectiveness. We got almonds, which are pretty much as small as it gets when it comes to snacks. I got some baby carrots as well. I only put a couple in here because these went bad like 3 days ago, and I'm probably only gonna eat one, if I'm being honest. But those represent the medium snacks, and then large is of course an apple slice, which I cut this up like 30 minutes ago and they're already turning brown. So gotta hurry this up, spin the wheel, and grab, well, I just wanted 1 almond. I guess I'll have 2. Oh, fuck you. I got bankrupt. Honestly, so far so good. I can grab them pretty easily. Well, okay, I guess I'm kind of fumbling a little bit here now. Yeah, it works pretty well for small snacks. Let's move up in size. My theory is that the bigger the snack, the harder it will be to pick up. So far that's kind of true. Here, let me do it with the controller. The real challenge is continuing to play the game while holding on to the rest of it. I'm squeezing like every muscle in my right hand, so I'm not actually playing the game right now. Yeah, this works, and this carrot tastes like shit. This is where it might get a little tricky. These apple slices are huge. To mix up the task, I decided that this time I will be sending an email to my wife. Dear wife, how's it going? Kind of hard to type at the same time. I can't wait to see you. Oh, fuck. Uh-oh. It's all falling apart now. Nailed it. You get back from work. Love, Drew. I think that went pretty well. Practically speaking, I don't know how often I would actually use this. If I was eating like Cheetos or some kind of chip that would get dust all over my keyboard, I'd give it a shot. But unless you're playing a game as chill as Wheel of Fortune for the Xbox 360, I don't think you're gonna be able to multitask as effectively as the ad made it seem. Like, I don't think you're gonna be able to eat an entire banana while fighting a boss in Elden Ring. Or can you? Let's do this. Fuck. Can't even pick it up. No, don't spin. This game's so easy. I hate this game. Alright, so it's been a few days of wearing my onesies, and I have more thoughts. Despite not having a butt flap, tuxie is actually easier to go to the bathroom in because you can just unzip it and pull it down. I know for all the ladies out there and for anyone who's worn a romper before, this is a far too familiar experience. Is it ideal? No, but it's not the worst thing in the world. The work oneie is the worst thing in the world.
There's even a flap on the back, just in case.
You see, when I picture a butt flap, I picture something that like has a hinge, you know, it opens and it closes. That's not what this is. Let me explain to you in very specific detail what it's like to use the bathroom while wearing one of these. And if you want to skip ahead past this, I totally understand. Just go to the next chapter of the video. First things first, the hole in the back does not stay open unless you are physically holding it open. If you let go, it will close itself back up. So, in order for this to work, you have to sit down on the toilet, hands behind you, gripping open the hole in your pants the entire time. So much for responding to texts or doing today's Wordle while going to the bathroom. Now it's a full body experience. But that's not even mentioning the fact that your underwear also has to be held down with one of your hands. And if you've been keeping track at home, you might have noticed we've already run out of hands to use. Am I supposed to get a friend to help? But wait, there's more, because now it's time to wipe, which means you will have to hold open both sides of the butt flap and pull your underwear down with one hand so you can use your other hand to reach in there and clean everything up. And I'm supposed to do that every day? So I ask you again, work oneies, just in case what? Just in case I want to add stress and danger to what used to be one of the most relaxing parts of my day. And there's still one more element to this that I've yet to discuss. While all of this is going on, do you have any idea where your dick is? It's still inside the work one. And I don't know about you guys, but when I go number 2, my body likes to also go number 1. It's kind of involuntary. I don't think there's a way to just do one without doing the other. So unless you want to do all of that and pee your pants, you're gonna have to make sure you've already peed beforehand. So you gotta stand up, undo all the buttons in the front. That's right, they couldn't even give this thing a zipper. Make sure all the pee is out because you don't want any leaks. And then you can sit
Alright, I think I
down
get it.
and
I'm just
go
gonna
through all
skip
the
past
bullshit
all
that I
this.
And now there's water everywhere, which means I gotta mop up my own. I'm sure that if I made a little bit of a mess in here, sorry for you. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the toilet. I don't know who invented this thing, but I just hope that they're in jail. That's it, Low Gang. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. Sorry for all the poop stuff in the video. I know it was a bit much. But you know what else is a bit much? Having to take a dump in this thing. Do you even realize all of the shit that I've had to do? Hey guy, I want to start this video by telling you about something very dumb that I did recently, and I'm going to preface this story by saying that this was entirely my fault. There are probably 50 things I could have done differently to avoid what ended up happening, but I didn't. And that's on me. So I got a new car last month. For most of my adult life, I've been driving a 2012 Honda Civic that I bought from CarMax in 2015. I'll never forget the day I rolled up to my job at Popeyes and
Felt like the coolest guy in the parking lot. Took the Max part of the sticker off so it just said car on the back. Had a lot of fun back then. And even though this car was very reliable for pretty much the entire time I had it, it was starting to show its age, and I got to a point where I kind of just wanted something that felt nicer to be in. So I splurged a little bit, traded it in for one of the coolest sports cars on the market right now, a 2021 Hyundai Sonata. Now that's not the dumb part. There are so many things about this car that are massive upgrades over what I had before. There's a rear view camera, there's blind spot indicators, I don't have to plug my phone in anymore to play music, it beeps at me if I move 1 inch in either direction on the highway. It's a great car. But there are also things about cars made in the past decade that aren't necessarily better, they're just different. For one, why as a society did we get rid of the Prindle? I have spent the past 15 years of my life building the muscle memory of yanking around my car's joystick to tell it where to go, and now it's just buttons? And I don't have the muscle memory for that. I'm starting to develop some due to time passing, but for the first couple weeks I owned this car, I would have to stop looking this way so I could look down and see where the backwards button is. So that brings me to my story. 6 days after I bought this car, I was leaving a U-Haul storage facility and the exit gate was open. Now I've been there enough to know that sometimes, even though the exit gate is supposed to close, it'll just not. So I gave it a couple seconds, decided, yeah, it's gonna stay open, and started driving forward. And you will never guess what happened the exact moment I made that decision. Yeah, gate started closing. So naturally I'm like, uh-oh, this gate is going to hit my new used car. I should move out of the way. So I hit the reverse button, start accelerating, and my car moves forward. Now, if you've ever been operating a motor vehicle that starts moving in the opposite direction that you intended it to, you probably know about the panic that sets in. And I was running out of time. I could feel the gate inching nearer and nearer. So in the heat of the moment, I very wisely decided to do the exact same thing that didn't work the first time. I hit the reverse button, hit the gas pedal, and once again, my car moves forward. At this point, the only thing I've managed to do is get more in the path of the gate. And before I could try my foolproof strategy a third time, it crashed into the side of my car and the alarm went off and it made a big old scratch that'll probably cost a couple $100 to get buffed out and repainted. I don't know the exact amount yet because I'm too embarrassed to tell anyone what happened. Anyway, I've had about a month now to process this, and I'm of two minds. On one hand, it is kind of hilarious that I waited 9 years to buy a new car and I couldn't even get through 1 full week without fucking it up. I would love to see the security footage of me stopping in front of a closing gate, quickly accelerating, stopping, accelerating again, stopping again, before getting out and yelling, "God damn it!" It probably looked really fun. But then, on the other hand, I am kind of like, well, what the fuck happened? Because like I know that I hit the reverse button 2 separate times and both times my car just decided not to do it. I tried recreating this exact scenario in a parking lot to pinpoint exactly where I went wrong. And my best guess is just that I hit the accelerator and the reverse button at the same time, which triggered the car's computer to be like, hey, you can't do that. You're gonna hurt the transmission. Let's hurt the side of the car instead. And like, it's a good thing that there's a mechanism in place to prevent the car from changing gears when you're moving too quickly. If I hit the reverse button while driving 70 miles per hour down the highway, I actually would want my car to ignore that. I'm pretty sure there was a similar mechanism in my old car. The difference is, though, that if this exact scenario happened while I was driving that one, there would have been physical feedback to tell me it was still in drive, and maybe I would have been less likely to floor it twice. In order to get the same confirmation from a button, you have to press it, look down at the dashboard, find the part that indicates what gear the car is in, process that information, and then react accordingly. And even if you can do all that very quickly, it still takes longer to send that information to your brain than if you can just feel where your hand is. And again, I'm the dumbass here. There are so many things I could have done differently. If I had just immediately accelerated as soon as I got to the gate, I would have made it through with time to spare. I also could have taken 3 extra seconds to just type my code in. I even could have stayed in bed all day and never gone anywhere near this gate, and that would have been a better decision too. But unfortunately, I didn't do any of those things.
I did this, and I'm gonna have to live with that for the rest of my life. But my funny little mishap got me thinking about all these things I've seen over the past couple years of people getting screwed over by like modern features in their cars. And it made me want to do some research about it. And my takeaway is that while it would be untrue to say that cars have gotten worse, I do think they've gotten dumber.
I looked up why cars made the shift from the Prindle stick to just buttons, or a touchscreen on the ceiling, or a wheel that's right next to the volume knob that hopefully has never caused a hilarious but unfortunate accident. And it turns out the main reason is just that the stick is not necessary anymore, because you're not physically changing the gear, you're just telling the car's computer what to do. Which, like, I get it, you know, I'm not here to stand in the way of progress. I just think that if you have to create a new problem in order to fix something that wasn't really a problem to begin with, you're not being as innovative as you might think you are. Without a doubt, my biggest personal gripe with how cars are made now is touchscreen dashboards. Almost 80% of new cars in 2022 had some kind of touchscreen display built into it. It's just the norm now. And on the surface, it seems like an improvement. I mean, obviously this is more advanced technology than this. Gross. I bet this one doesn't even have 12 different menus I can flip through to try to figure out how to get my turn signals on. It just doesn't make much sense to me when there's already such a massive increase in distracted driving and accidents and deaths that happen because of it, that they're adding this thing into cars that you literally have to look at to be able to use. There's a Swedish magazine that ran this test a couple years ago where they had people drive 12 different cars down the highway and timed how long it took for them to complete the same series of tasks in each of them. And the winner by far was a 2005 Volvo. Now, this doesn't mean that 2005 Volvo is the best car. It just means that for basic tasks like changing a radio station or turning the AC on, physical buttons that you can memorize the location of are the quickest and safest way to do those things. You don't have to look away from the road to be able to find where the button is. I think ideally modern cars are built with the right combination of actual buttons for basic tasks and the touchscreen for more advanced features, most of which you don't really need to use while driving anyway. And it does seem like some of the companies that maybe over-embraced this technology a few years ago have started to peel back and find a happy medium. But what absolutely drives me crazy is cars that have consolidated the entire dashboard into one giant iPad. Windshield wipers? We put it on the touchscreen. Want to turn the air down a little bit? We put it on the touchscreen. I think the irony of these kinds of interfaces is that they give the illusion of luxury. This certainly seems like the more innovative option until you realize that the main reason they're so prevalent in cars now is because it is the cheapest way to build one.
It actually costs a lot of money to engineer all of these buttons and switches and to have the wiring. Doing all of that in software is a lot cheaper.
It is more expensive to produce actual knobs and buttons than it is to just throw every function onto one screen, make it compatible with Apple CarPlay, and call it a day. And then when something goes wrong, it's just a software problem. We'll figure it out. Or maybe we have to replace the entire thing and it's gonna be $4,000. Who's to say? And I didn't even mention the fact that if the screen does end up malfunctioning in a car that's entirely reliant on it, it's not just a minor inconvenience, it means you can't drive the car until it gets fixed. Some of the extra hoops I've seen people have to jump through in order to accomplish basic tasks now are mind-boggling. You know how sometimes you have the AC on, but it ends up blasting right into your hand, so you have to reach over and change the direction of the vent? Well, that's fucking dumb, okay? That's how a caveman would do it. It makes way more sense to go on over to the car tablet, find the AC control button, select the air vent you want to change, and then drag it where you want it to go, all while barreling through a school zone. While watching a bunch of videos of car dashboards, I happened upon this 1989 Toyota, and there's something so beautiful about it. Look at that subtle burgundy interior, the tasteful thickness of those buttons. Oh my God, it even has a seatbelt. But I'm aware that I'm over-romanticizing the past a little bit, because if I truly wanted a car that looked like this, I could have just bought one. Like, I do want modern features. I do want a car that's able to do the things that my phone can do. But if these things are implemented in a way that forces you to look away from the road in order to be able to use them, I think we should reconsider how we got here. Cars have been around for about 100 years now, and it kind of seems like maybe we figured out the best way to make them and ran out of ways to meaningfully innovate. But that doesn't really work when you're trying to get people to buy a new one every single year, so you have to find something you can add to make it seem like there's been a big improvement. Things like door handles that retract into the car, which I guess is cool. I don't know if I've ever thought of the handle sticking out 3/4 of an inch as being an issue, but I'll admit it adds some sleekness to the car, and it's not like it's making things worse, right? What's that? If it gets too cold outside, the handles don't work anymore? Yeah, no, I could see how that might not be great.
Tesla fixed this problem with a software update last October. You can just press this to pop the door open when the door handles are frozen.
Great news, everyone. We've updated the app so you can now get into your car during the winter. So consider that problem solved.
But didn't you create the problem in the first place?
We're actually not taking any questions at this time.
My favorite thing about these door handles is no matter how many times I get an Uber driver that's in a Tesla, I don't know how to get inside. I'm sure it's very simple, but clearly I'm struggling enough as it is. One thing I haven't seen as many people talk about, but has driven me crazy for the past few years is headlights are getting brighter, right? Like, that's not just me. I cannot tell you how many times I've been driving down a 2-lane road at night and a car passes me with headlights so unbelievably bright, I cannot see anything for like 10 seconds. Hopefully I'm still in my lane. I guess I'll find out soon. Now, this is one of those things that's a double-edged sword, right? Because in theory, brighter headlights should make driving safer because visibility is improved. But I feel like it has to negate a little bit of the safety when those headlights don't just hit the road and instead shine directly into the eyes of oncoming drivers. I looked it up, and the two things that are causing this are, one, manufacturers using LEDs now instead of the softer and yellower halogen bulbs from the last couple decades. LEDs tend to be brighter and more compact, so they hit even harder when you're staring down the barrel of one.
Oh, this one for sure.
But the other reason for this is a byproduct of something that I think is in itself a problem, which is that cars are so much bigger now than they've ever been. So if you're driving a sedan in the opposite lane of a brand new Suburban, those lights are gonna have to go through your eyeballs in order to hit the road. There's something a little paradoxical about the safety of cars now, where they are much safer than they've ever been, while also posing more of a threat than they ever have. A brand new truck may have great safety ratings because it's twice as big as every other car around it, but now every other car around it has to worry about getting demolished by a truck that's twice as big as them. Pedestrian deaths in America have skyrocketed over the past decade, and I don't think it's a coincidence that that's happening while cars continue to get taller and heavier for mostly no reason other than because they can, because there's no regulations stopping them from doing it. And if a truck being way bigger than it needs to be is what convinces someone to sign up for a $1,200 a month car payment, why would those car companies have any incentive to stop? It's created this cycle where I think a lot of people feel like the only way forward is to fight fire with fire. Everyone else has a giant car, well, I guess I need to get one for myself. I remember seeing this post a few months ago where this guy talked about how lucky he was to have been driving in such a gargantuan SUV when he got in an accident because he and his family were able to walk away unharmed. And obviously, that's great that they're okay. This could have ended very tragically, and I'm happy that it didn't. But for someone to see this and their takeaway to be, see, this is why everyone should buy the biggest SUV they can because it's the only way to keep your family safe. You're not taking into account the fact that in a lot of cases, these giant trucks and SUVs are the danger.
Since the introduction of SUVs, there has been a massive increase in what are called front overs, a person, usually a child, getting run over by an SUV by a driver who can't even see them. Over a 10-year period, over 500 American children were killed by being run over by SUVs.
I mean, shit, why stop here? I think every American citizen should drive around in a military-grade tank. Yeah, we might run over a few more kids, but as long as they're not my kids, who gives a shit? Now, of course, I cannot make a video about cars that are bigger than they need to be, and dumber than they need to be, and more dangerous than they need to be, without talking about the one that lies squarely in the cross-section of that Venn diagram, the Tesla Cybertruck.
Welcome to the Cybertruck unveil. It is literally bulletproof. Ultra hard stainless steel. Really hard. Of course, it will come with autopilot standard. Franz, could you try to break this glass, please?
Oh my fucking god.
So this awesome car, which looks like when you first boot up a video game and not all of the textures have loaded in yet, was announced a couple years ago as starting at $40,000. Fast forward to today. Anyone who is driving one of these right now, the bare minimum that I've seen any of them spend 100 grand. One of the biggest reasons for this absolutely bonkers price jump is this $20,000 foundation fee. That's right, there's an additional fee tacked on that is almost as much as what I spent on my entire car. So you're probably dying to know what that bonus gets you. Well, some people who paid for it don't even seem to know.
$20,000 for it being a foundation series. Now, I don't know what that really means or anything, but yeah, I paid it because I wanted the truck.
So at first I thought it was just that it says the word foundation on it, which would be really funny. But apparently most of what that fee is meant to be attributed to is the self-driving feature that you would otherwise have to pay a separate monthly fee to access.
Of course, it will come with autopilot standard.
Now, one tiny little thing to note about this feature is that it is not available yet, and no one can even hazard a guess as to when it will be. So as it currently stands, the only thing this $20,000 fee gives you is priority access to a car that's littered with problems.
Oh shit. Oh, we already broke it. All right, so my Cybertruck is completely broken. My foot is on the floor and it's not moving.
This gear selector at the top, it just dropped down. Something's going on with the windshield. What? I got all these warnings I've never seen before. I'm trying to open up the trunk. It won't respond. I'm going back and forth trying to close it. It won't close. It won't close. It won't close. When the tailgate's down, the camera's showing you the street. I have had enough.
At this point, I think I know more about manufacturing than anyone currently alive on Earth.
I have to say, I have really enjoyed watching videos lately from people who may or may not be in denial about the absurd amount of money wasted on this stupid car. They'll make these update videos where they complain about so many things they hate about it, and then be like, and that's why it's a perfect car. And I have no regrets.
This car is definitely worth the hype. This thing right here is a fingerprint magnet. I just got my car washed yesterday and there's still water spots. I noticed that my roof was starting to come off. Their navigation system sucks. It's rusting on the inside. It was like this when I picked it up. I definitely think it's worth $100,000.
So included with the Foundation series, you get all weather floor mats, and if you look right up here, there's a little Cybertruck logo.
Wait, did you say floor mats for all weather? Well, never mind then. They should have charged an extra $50,000. Sorry, I should be more sensitive. These people are going through enough right now. It's bad enough their car is falling apart, but they're also getting relentlessly bullied. Cyber clown trucks for stupid. Give it to the stupid clown to spend their life away. And this guy just said gay truck. That's like a truck owner's worst nightmare. I will say one thing I do really love about this car is that the rear view mirror doesn't work. Its view is completely obstructed most of the time. I mean, if you want, you can just look down at the screen at the rear view camera, but that also becomes useless if it gets even a little bit dirty. And isn't driving through dirt kind of the whole point of having a truck? That's all they do in commercials. Now, if off-roading is the thing you want to do in this truck, good luck, because it doesn't seem to know how to do that.
My friend in the 4Runner wanted to take that incline challenge, and he killed. The Subaru also went up that incline. The Cybertruck did not make it up that incline. And once we got to about the middle of the incline, it would stop. We tried airing down to 30 PSI, but it still did not make it up the hill.
Also, you're not gonna believe this, but part of his car broke while he was doing this. How does this keep happening? To be fair though, look how easily it navigates this puddle of mud. I mean, if I tried to drive through that in my old Civic, I literally would have drowned. But this truck can do things that I've never seen any vehicle do before. Yes, technically, this road is paved, but they're still in the woods. That's gotta count for something. This truly is the all-in-one vehicle. You can drive out in the middle of nowhere and sleep there if you want. It even comes with its own tent that you can attach to the back of the truck for an additional $3,000. Now, considering you can get a pretty big tent for like $100, you'd probably assume that this thing is decked out with premium features. No, it's just a tent. A 1-inch thin mattress, a couple of straps, a zipper that barely works. But since it's an official Tesla product, you know you're getting that signature high-quality engineering.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. Broken.
It even comes with a bicycle pump, so you can spend 10 minutes manually blowing it up. For $3,000, you should be able to hit a button and watch this thing assemble itself. It is crazy to me how much they're able to overcharge for the most basic shit. Cosmetically, this stainless steel, absolutely gorgeous. It does pick up the occasional fingerprint. if you touch it at all. But as long as you don't get in the car or anywhere near the car, you've got nothing to worry about. And if it does get a little spotty, not a problem, just take it through a car wash. But if you do that, make sure you put it on car wash mode first, otherwise it'll break the truck and void your warranty.
The Cybertruck does not work anymore. Listen to the noise this thing makes. That was a weird popping sound. So what did I do different? Today I went to the beach, took it through the car wash, make sure all the sand's off. Then I pulled it in the garage and nothing.
This thing is practically invincible. You can hit it with a hammer. You can hit it with a shopping cart. But if it gets any bugs on it, you need to clean that off immediately or you will ruin it forever. The Cybertruck is also famously bulletproof for some reason, although I'm not really sure why they've made that one of the primary selling points.
When you shoot a normal truck, the bullets go in one side, straight through, and out the other side. You cannot hide behind the vehicle to be safe, so it's something to keep in mind.
Keep in mind for what? Who are you marketing this car to? John Wick? The things they chose to prioritize while making this truck are baffling to me. Who gives a shit that it's bulletproof if the material they had to use to make it that way makes it so razor sharp you cut your hand every time you open the door? Who cares how strong the interior is if it can't even get wet? They're calling it a car made for any planet. Guys, why don't we start with making it work on this one? As far as safety goes, I've seen conflicting reports about this. There's a crash that happened between a Cybertruck and a Toyota Corolla, and if you look at the photos from the accident, you might think, wow, this truck is invincible. It barely got a scratch on it. Meanwhile, the guy in the Corolla is probably seriously hurt, right? No, he's fine. The problem with this rigid outer body is that cars are designed to crumple in an accident. That's their way of absorbing as much force as possible. If your car doesn't crumple, that force will be passed on to the passengers inside of it. So while the Cybertruck may look like the world's most indestructible car, a lot of people who know more about physics than I do aren't so sure this is a good thing. I think what Tesla has done the most successfully with this truck is make it so their target audience doesn't care about any of these problems. I've seen people online who are actively enduring nightmare situations still go out of their way to defend this company. Cybertruck broke down on my first road trip with my family, lost the back motor and was unable to drive, had to get it towed 2 hours back home. First year problems. Always good to wait a year or two on a brand new model. I know this as an early 3/Y owner, but man, come on. Had to grab the Cybertruck. No, you didn't. And it definitely seems like you shouldn't have. I found this guy on Twitter whose experience perfectly encapsulates the Cybertruck launch. His truck broke pretty much immediately. He got that patented flashing red critical service error, couldn't even drive it, had to pull over. Since then, it's been in the shop for weeks with no word on how long it's gonna take to fix. There's apparently at least 10 different things wrong with it. Wire harness needs replacement, ripple in windshield, driver's seat rubbing on center console, headliner sagging, chip and foundation series dashboard trim, mobile connector provided with Cybertruck not charging the truck past 6 amps, front misalignment, one side is higher, rear side arch misalignment sticking up. It could be another month before this guy gets his $100,000 car back. In the meantime, they're making up for all the trouble they've caused him by letting him borrow a regular Model 3 Tesla, which he himself described as being filthy with a strong, unpleasant odor that has persisted even after he went to the trouble of cleaning it inside and out. And it is fascinating to watch this guy, who has been absolutely fucked by Tesla, continue to go to war on Elon's behalf. People often criticize what they don't fully grasp, but the moment you take the wheel of a Cybertruck, everything changes. You'll quickly discover that all other trucks pale in comparison, becoming obsolete in the Cybertruck's shadow. Hey guys, it's been like 2 weeks since you took my car. Are you almost done fixing it, or? They've got it all twisted. Instead of comparing the Cybertruck to other trucks, they should compare the other EV trucks' features and capabilities to those of the Cybertruck. Then it becomes clear just how superior the Cybertruck is and how the other trucks are stuck in the dinosaur era. Hey, my car has been in the shop for its entire life so far. Do you think I'm ever gonna be able to drive it again? While other trucks are busy playing catch up, the Cybertruck is already in the future, being the undisputed champion. Hating on the Cybertruck might get you more engagement and clicks, but I'll never fake it to make it. I love my Cybertruck. Really wish I could get my truck back this weekend. Still no update. Dude, if I was this guy, I would be furious. He has every right to be pissed off here, but he seems to be more mad at the people telling him he's been scammed than at the company that actually scammed him. I spent so much time this month watching videos of people driving this car and talking about this car and hating on this car, but at the end of the day, it's not fair for me to fully judge something that I've never even seen in person, let alone actually driven. Sure, I can pick and choose clips that fit the argument I'm trying to make, but can I really condemn something I've never even stepped foot inside? No. But then I found out there's an app you can use to rent other people's cars for a day, so I spent $700 to pretend I own a Cybertruck.
Love that sound. This is my nightmare. Everything on the screen, nothing's here. I don't like how many buttons I have to press to like turn the AC off. For a truck as big as this is, I don't love how sensitive everything is. The steering wheel, you barely have to turn it. You don't need to brake. I instinctively, when I'm slowing down, I want to take my foot off the accelerator and brake, but it brakes when you let go of the accelerator, so it's like really jerky. I guess I would get used to that if I drove it more often, but so far it's just like, I feel like I'm really drawing a lot of attention to myself. Going to a Costco parking lot, probably a bad idea. Everyone is turning and looking.
When I drive, I do not want to be perceived or looked at.
That guy right there is stopping to look at us right now.
Another Tesla is looking at us.
He's like, ah, my big brother.
When we got inside Costco, though, something weird happened. People stopped looking at me. I had to get out of there as soon as possible.
Look at all these normies. Only I'm in the Cybertruck. Okay. So many steps to open the mirror. They have something called karaoke. Look at me, took me, shook me, feeling me, singing from heart. Like a lot of reviewers said, you cannot use this rear view mirror. It is just complete darkness in there. It is very smooth to drive. It doesn't feel like you're driving a giant truck, but I kind of wish it did. If you forget that your car weighs 7,000 pounds and you're driving it like it doesn't, like I just feel like it's way too easy to accelerate as fast as you can and slice someone in half, which I'd rather not do.
It was a beautiful spring day outside, so the next thing on my agenda was a romantic picnic in the park with my lovely wife.
What's wrong? You've hardly touched your cereal. You don't want Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I got a banana instead.
I've driven a little bit now. I'm pretty sure every time I've parked and gotten out so far, I've left the car on because I don't know how to turn it off. There's not like a button or anything. But I finally figured out, it's very intuitive. You hit this, and then was it safety, right? And then you scroll all the way down, and you want to scroll past Joe mode. Don't put it on Joe mode. Then you just hit power off, and then that's it. And that's how you turn off the Cybertruck.
Getting the truck to fit into my garage was a lot closer of a call than I expected it to be. If I did own this car, this would be quite the fun little adventure to get to go on every single day.
And that's how you park a Tesla Cybertruck in your garage.
Despite all my issues with the truck, the more I drove it around the city and felt the enamored stares from mesmerized bystanders, I was reminded of what the guy I rented it from told me. You'll feel like a celebrity. And god damn it, he was right. I've never felt more popular. What, is that freaking Brad Pitt over there? Nope. Just little old me driving the best truck in the world.
Please, no pictures. I'm a regular person just like you.
I like the way this car makes me feel.
I don't care how much it costs. If it's not solid gold, I don't want it.
Hey, can I talk to you for a sec?
Sure, but make it quick.
Ever since you've been driving that car, you've been acting kind of weird.
How exactly do you mean?
You're like a completely different person now.
Oh, I see. You're jealous.
What?
You're jealous because I own the world's most awesome car.
You don't own the car. You're renting it for one day.
Oh, tell me how I knew you'd bring that up.
Because it's true, Drew.
I'm sorry, I can't deal with this right now. I need to go clear my head. I'm gonna take a nice scenic drive dangerously close to the edge of a cliff. We interrupt this slow motion car montage with some breaking news. Somehow the Cybertruck just got even dumber. Tesla has officially recalled all 3,800 of the vehicles due to a problem with the accelerator pedal. Turns out the pedal has a cheap plastic cover over it that's been fastened on so poorly, it's sliding off, getting lodged under the piece in front of it, and causing drivers to go as fast as this stupid car can go.
It held the accelerator down 100%,
Full throttle?
This is a real thing that's actually happening. We here at Channel 300 News urge you, if your husband is about to drive one of these death traps near or around a cliff, you must go stop him. His life could be in danger.
Honey, I just saw on the news.
Who's a big, strong truck? That's right, you are. I had to give the truck back last night. It was one of the hardest moments of my life. Technically, I still had a few hours left on the rental, but Amanda said she felt weird or something. I don't know, it's all a blur. Final thoughts on the truck. I think it should cost $1 million, and I wish it had 2 accelerator pedals and no brakes so I could drive twice as fast and never have to stop. Please subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Drew. Just because something is weird and on the internet doesn't mean you have to buy it. My name is Drew, and today I'll be buying something weird I found on the internet. As someone who's never been quite as healthy as I probably should be, I'm always looking for convenient ways to improve my diet. And that's where Square Eat comes in. Finally, a company that has the courage to take a bunch of food and turn it into little wet squares. Gotta say, I love these photos. This is what it looked like before we blended it into a cube, and this is what it looks like now. Pretty cool, huh? In case you missed it, here was their big announcement video from last year.
What if I told you that we can transform regular food into squares?
I would believe you, honestly. I don't think most people's first thoughts when they see this are, how did they do that? It's more like, why would they do that?
Stop for a moment and remember how bad the food options are in schools, airplanes, hospitals.
You know, it's probably not a great sign if you have to start off your advertisement by saying, hey, it's better than hospital food. I like this shot of 2 people eating the squares in what appears to be an actual restaurant. Like, I can maybe understand the practicality of having these things meal prepped ready to go in your fridge, but if a restaurant served slimy cubes of meat, no one would eat there. Sorry, Cube Cafe, I'm gonna go somewhere else for dinner. The rest of this video is less an ad for consumers who may be looking to try the product and more an ad for potential investors, because they start going on about the margins.
Our business model is predicted on scalability and margin control. This combination will generate margins never seen before in the industry.
And honestly, it almost makes me want to eat it even less. They shouldn't be bragging to me about how low their overhead is. I would prefer it cost you a little bit of money to make the food. It's kind of like when fast food restaurants will sell 50 chicken nuggets for like 89 cents and somehow still profit. Kind of makes you wonder what the hell they're putting in those things. They say they have 16,000 plus customer satisfaction, but they only have 49 reviews. Are they just assuming everyone that didn't leave a review is also satisfied? I mean, they never told us they hated it. As you can probably imagine, all the 1-star reviews are about how they didn't like the taste or that the texture is kind of weird, but I noticed they give the same response to all of them. I'm curious which warming method you used. We really do not recommend using only the microwave, but for example, the electric grill or pan with a little olive oil to enhance the flavor and texture. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure it does taste better like that, but you can't have it both ways. You can't say, save 10 hours a week on cooking. These squares are ready to eat, implying that you can just pop them in the microwave, right? But then when people go, I don't know, man, they taste kind of bad, you're like, well, then you shouldn't have put them in the microwave. I don't know where you got that idea from. Well, no food review would be complete if I didn't actually eat the food, so let's go ahead and buy some. You can either buy the squares by themselves, or you can buy meal boxes. My favorite is definitely the vegan burger meal. The word burger makes me think that these 2 are the buns, and you're supposed to stack all 6 of the squares on top of each other. And then, of course, wash it all down with some mixed beans pack. Why would I just open a can of beans when I could spend $12 on that? I noticed that the meals are way more expensive than just buying the squares individually. Seems like if anything, it would be the other way around. But 6 classic meal boxes would give you 18 chicken squares, 12 rice squares, and 6 broccoli squares for $93. Or for $75, you can buy exactly the same thing. But either way, this isn't cheap food. You would hope, and probably even assume that it would be based on the way that it looks. But $15 for one meal that's essentially just 400 calories of chicken and rice. This would have to be amazing for it to be worth that. Look, I'll happily spend a little bit more money on something if it tastes really good and is convenient to prepare. But if I'm being honest, I'm worried that these are neither of those things. Oh, wait a minute, they've got a sweet section, so I can grab grab some of my favorite desserts like peanuts or other nuts. Mom, can we go get dessert? No, honey, we have dessert at home. The dessert at home. And again, I'm all for convenience when it comes to food. If healthy food was as cheap and easily accessible as fast food tacos were, I would be in much better shape. But I'm not exactly sure who the target audience for this is. If you can afford to pay this much money for tiny portions of prepackaged astronaut food, you might as well just sign up for one of those companies that will mail you already cooked meals you can just throw in the microwave. Assuming, of course, that you prefer the appearance and texture of actual food. All right, well, I bought some, and I can't wait to put it in my mouth. This is such a bizarre idea for a product that I feel like it has to be satire, right? Like this only exists because it's bizarre enough to grab people's attention, right?
So, I may have made a slight error. For the first time in my life, I was fully prepared for something. I planned this video so far in advance, I might have actually planned it too far in advance. You see, I bought the squares while I was still halfway through my last video with the intention of freezing them once I got here, but then when they did, I noticed their expiration dates all said 11/25. So I was like, great, I've got plenty of time. I'll just put them in the fridge. And after 19 days of that, I was ready to film part 2, so I pulled them out and noticed that they look kinda gross. The problem is I don't know if that's the normal gross that they're supposed to look like or a slightly grosser gross that means do not eat this. So I consulted their website where I read that they last 2 weeks in the fridge. Perfect, that's plenty of time. And it's already been more than that. So then I started panicking and thinking, should I order more? Well, that's not an option because this was right before Thanksgiving, and if I ordered them then, they wouldn't have shipped in time for the end of the month, my contractual deadline for uploading a video. But this is where their customer service team came in clutch. After several typing bubbles popped up and disappeared and popped up and then disappeared, it was very nerve-wracking. They assured me that the squares have proven to last up to 3 weeks in the fridge as long as they've been properly sealed, which they were. And I was like, that's awesome, thank you so much, but they're kinda yellow, is that bad? And she was like, don't worry, that's our secret sauce. Vivian, I'm gonna choose to trust you on this, but just know, my life is in your hands.
Now, I know these look identical, but believe it or not, one of these plates has real food on it, the other has little squares. Now, just first impression, can you tell which is which?
Rice, broccoli, chicken.
I meant which one is the squares, but it seems like you got, is it the square plate that gave it away?
Square plate for square food.
Circle plate for circle food.
food.
What were you planning to do with the big spoon? That's a good idea.
I mean, this does look really cool.
Would you say it looks appetizing though?
Kind of.
Okay, well that's good. Hey, maybe you're the target audience for this.
I'm so tired of food that looks like that.
I know.
I'm excited to try something new.
Maybe the novelty will wear off at some point, but for now, it's just so exciting to have someone take food in such an interesting new direction. Tastes like chicken. Chicken. That's because it is.
It's actually not that bad.
It's very dry. Blind taste test, would you be able to tell the difference
Yes.
between this chicken? Yes.
The texture.
I mean, I like my chicken.
I like that chicken.
Really? Okay.
They look like little rocks.
All right, you ready for the broccoli? Oh, that's nasty. It's definitely wetter than the chicken is. It's like you bite into it and it sort of like bursts in your mouth.
It doesn't really taste like broccoli.
Well, it's broccoli and spinach.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say.
It smells like broccoli. It's got that signature broccoli stink, but with all the flavor of spinach.
I like the way it jiggles.
It's like rice jello. It's not bad. It doesn't taste like anything, I feel like.
That's the same thing. What a fun way to eat.
Hey, I'm glad you like it.
Come into work, you bring your 3 little squares.
Yeah, you would be the talk of the office. I'm actually gonna slice this up and fry it and we'll see how it compares. Now we're talking. No matter where I film videos, Bim Bim finds a way to the background. She, in a past life, was a YouTuber or something. Every time, she's licking herself like crazy. Yeah, it's a million times better. The rice is actually pretty good.
I think I liked the rice better before.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah. Chicken tastes better.
It has like a crispiness to it now.
It almost reminds me of like...
runnier than I thought it would be.
It tastes like sausage.
It does taste like sausage.
That's what it is.
Yeah, they make chicken sausage, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what this tastes like.
But you don't like sausage.
I don't. Maybe the psychology of it, that I think that it's square chicken, so I like it more. But if you were to just say it was square chicken sausage, I wouldn't like it as much.
If I were to use that as a patty and like a breakfast sandwich and I told you it was sausage, you'd be like, I don't like it, even though it would taste the same.
But if you told me it was square chicken...
Yeah, the state-of-the-art, innovative, new food technology, you'd be like, okay.
Yeah, probably.
I actually don't like the sauce. I like it better without the sauce.
What does it look like on a plate?
Well, what they want you to do is prepare the chicken the way that I prepared it, slice it up and put it on the stove, and then put it in like a salad or something as a chicken substitute. This gets crispier than chicken could. Like,
That's why it's almost tofu-y.
yeah, it's got like a different texture. If it was cheaper, I'd be like, this is surprisingly good, but because it's still so expensive, it's like, it's hard to justify getting these squares when I could, it's more work, but if you go to the store and get all this for super cheap and just throw it in the oven, you'll have 5 days worth of food in an hour. It doesn't taste like chicken breast, but chicken breast is also kind of boring and it gets repetitive. So, you know, if you've been on a diet for a while and you're getting tired of this, and you want to venture out into something else that's also low calorie or whatever, like give it a shot.
I would probably eat this like with other things. I don't think I could just eat this by itself. It looks like what I would imagine as a kid, airplane food. And people would make jokes about airplane food. That's what I would picture as airplane
oh, it must
food.
be like blended cubes of meat. It looks like what 80s movies' idea of what future food would look like. And you know what? I'm proud of you. You tried it. You stepped out of your comfort zone. I stepped out of my comfort zone. Good game.
Well, it just goes to show you should never judge a book by its cover because you never know how it's gonna taste. For Channel 6 News, I'm Todd Totter, reporting live. It's kind of a weird thing to put on the news.
Hey guy, welcome back to my channel. This is so weird. I feel like I haven't made a video by myself in like 2 months because I haven't made a video by myself in like 2 months, but I'm so excited to be back here on my own channel making content. So I'm actually in St. Louis, Missouri right now, sitting next to this comically oversized lamp that I can't stop looking at and thinking it looks like a regular lamp grew up into an adult lamp. But that's not what today's video is about, even though that's what you were probably expecting. Today's video is about the Dobre brothers.
Are you joking? Snap out of it.
I've always been kind of fascinated by the Dobre brothers. I made a video about them like a year and a half ago, specifically about their pranks and how weird they are. But today's video is about something else, and a lot of you have probably heard about this already. I know I'm late to this, but I had to talk about this because it's so funny to me. So like myself, Danny, and Curtis, the Dobre brothers are also on tour right now, but I didn't really care much about it until I saw this video that went viral on Twitter of one of their meet and greets.
Heard you was a lame boy, get up out my face. Now my ex keep calling sweater, she be in the way. I'ma show you where I lay.
So obviously this went pretty viral because it's like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's so awkward and uncomfortable, and I feel so bad for that girl who's so excited to meet the Dobre brothers. Her parents paid a pretty good chunk of money for her to meet them, and they don't say anything. They don't even smile. They just sit there looking dead. And the saddest part is, at the very end, she turns around to like say something to them and then immediately has to apologize. Which is like so shitty that they made her feel like she had to apologize for trying to say something at a meet and greet she paid to go to. They acknowledged the camera at the beginning. So that's what's funny too, is they know that her dad is filming this, presumably going to put it on the internet. That's not enough for them to give a shit about the meet and greet.
Get the fuck out of here.
Now, when you look at their tour pricing breakdown, it looks like they have a few different tiers of meet and greets. This is, I think, the last tier, the lowest tier, where for the cheapest amount of money, you can pay to see them after the show. Rather than before the show. So I guess this is cheaper because they've completely drained their energy by the end of the night. But even still, it's like, oh my God, you can't say hi? I'm pretty sure they're all asleep. I don't think they even have any memory of this. You could have replaced them with cardboard cutouts and they would have been more enthusiastic, I'm pretty sure. Because I assume the cardboard cutouts would at least be smiling. So as I said, this went pretty viral on Twitter. A lot of people were talking about it, and it didn't take long for the Dobres to respond to this. And this has to be one of the best apologies I've ever seen. We just wanted to apologize. After a long 48 hours of restless filming and touring, then meeting thousands of fans with no sleep, we were exhausted by the end of our show. Our true apologies, we are sincerely sorry. How tired do you have to be to sit there like a statue? I understand you're tired. We've been on tour too. We're very exhausted after the shows, even during the day. I'm tired right now. I get it. But people are paying to see you. And for you to sit there and just
There's a big difference between being tired and then just not giving a shit. And this definitely seems like you just didn't give a shit. It's kind of fun to scroll through the replies and see that there's not really any positive reactions to this. One of the few reactions to this that was positive was a fan saying, "There's no need to apologize. You guys work so hard, it happens that you guys are exhausted," etc. And I saw this because I was scrolling through Lucas's likes and he liked this tweet, which is also so funny to me, to publicly apologize and then like a tweet of someone saying you don't need to apologize. So you completely undid your apology by doing that. But I get it, you know, we've been on tour now. I understand it's not just the shows themselves that are exhausting. It is exhausting to meet a lot of people in a row. To be away from home is hard, to live on a bus. But then I looked into it. When he said 48 hours, he meant 48 hours. They had 2 shows in September. So, like, if they knew they were gonna be this exhausted, they could have taken some extra time off before, or just powered through it knowing they were going home probably that night, if not the next morning. But it's like, you're so tired from working 2 days out of the month. That's insane. But again, I don't want to be too hard on these guys. I totally understand touring is very exhausting, and I would be a hypocrite if I sat here and said that I was perfect, that me, Danny, and Curtis didn't make any mistakes ourselves. But I want to get out in front of this and come clean about something that happened at one of our meet and greets. There's actually a video of it, so I'll just go ahead and play that for you guys now.
Northside, Polish, shiny, the other side state. Heard you was a lame boy, get up out my face. Now my ex keep calling sweater, she be in the way. I don't need a dinner forever, I'll show you why
We just wanted to apologize. So I posted that video on Twitter with the same caption that Lucas Dobre used for his video. And what was funny about that is that it spread so far outside of our circle of followers that people who have no idea who we are saw it thinking it was like a sincere apology and real video, and were very upset. My favorite one was this guy. "If you guys ever grabbed me like that, I definitely would have fought back. That shit's not cool and ultimately fucked up. I don't care how tired you are, that's not an excuse." So people saw this video and thought that it was real, that I also voluntarily posted the video. Instead of just posting the apology, I posted the video willingly of us beating up a fan, as if that wouldn't be like the most fucked up thing we could do. But that is pretty badass of him to say that he'd fight back. That's really cool. Now, for a few days, this was the end of it, and I wasn't gonna make a video about this, but the Dobre brothers reached out to the girl from the video and apologized to her, and so I had to also bring that up because this is just as great.
You know, we just wanted to kind of talk about stuff and just tell you how grateful we are that you support us and you came out of your way to come to our show and just be there for us. Yeah, and we want to apologize if you didn't have the experience that you wanted. We really do apologize.
It's okay.
It sounds so insincere because of how monotone they are. It sounds like they're being held hostage, and if they don't apologize to this girl, then their captor is not gonna let them out.
We're glad you had a lot of fun.
I mean, it's great that they reached out to this girl and apologized to her, but also, if they were like that to her, then wouldn't they have been like that to every fan they met? I mean, did they just suddenly start sulking when that girl came by? Then it's almost malicious. It's like it was targeted at that girl. But I assume they did that all night. This was just the only one that got posted on the internet, so maybe they should apologize to everyone who was there. Or are all their meet and greets like this? Maybe they need to apologize to every fan they've ever met. Which also, by the way, they said they met thousands of fans, and I looked up the 2 theaters that they performed in September, and the total capacity for those is 2,800, which only a fraction of those are gonna be meet and greet tickets. You don't meet every single one of your fans that comes to a show, so I would guess maybe they met like 400 fans. I know it's a nitpicky thing, but like, don't lie in your apology. Even though they apologized, that's great. It's still like, you should never be so complacent that you think you can just sit there in a meet and greet and not feel guilty that you charged so much money for that. Because even if you're tired, you can fake it. You can put on a smile, or you can also be re-energized from seeing your fans. Your fans are really excited to see you, and that should put a smile on your face. You should be excited to do that. And if you're not excited to do
do that, then why are you doing meet and greets? Why are you in this line of work? Such a weird saga of events. It's a type of thing that could only happen to them. I couldn't imagine literally any other influencer having this kind of video be released. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say about this. I know this was a pretty short video compared to some of my others, but I just wanted to talk about this. By the time I post this, it will be over, but tonight, for me, while I'm physically here recording this, tonight is our last show in Missouri. We did 31. I just want to thank you guys so much. Thank you to everyone who came out and saw our shows, who supported us, who bought meet and greet tickets, who sent us nice tweets after the shows saying they had a great time. We're so grateful for you guys. This was a very scary thing to do this. I was for months overanalyzing things and thinking everyone was going to hate it, but the reception was incredible, and we're so excited to have gotten to do this and also to try to do this again, to write an even funnier show and also visit cities we didn't get to see this time. So even if you guys couldn't make it to the show but you wanted to, thank you for your support. That being said, I have eaten takeout every single day for the past 7 weeks, and I am so excited to go home and cook my own meals again. I can't tell you how happy I am to be back home. I've got a bunch of videos I want to make the next few months, and I can't wait to get started, but first I'm gonna go sleep for 4 days. Okay, thanks for watching, bye. Hey guys, welcome back to the darkest room in the world. We did it! We made it to the end of the year, baby! Tomorrow is January 1st, 2021, which means all of our problems will go away and life will return to normal. Needless to say, this year has been bad. I started it off by saying this. 2020 is off to a bit of an underwhelming start, but that means there's nowhere to go but up. And I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong. But in the spirit of the year coming to an end, I wanted to take a page out of Nathan Zed's playbook and choose something to leave behind as we head into 2021. And just when I had that thought, YouTube recommended to me the video, I Lost My Memory prank on my mom.
I'm gonna be telling my mom I lost my memory. Ah, it's a prank!
Right away, I was intrigued by this because not only is the video designated as being made for kids, which you can tell because the comments are turned off, but it's also age restricted. Pretty rare combination. You don't usually see videos that are made exclusively for children over the age of 18. I also realized that these are people I made a video about like 3 years ago because of the mom's Instagram comedy. And I'm glad to see that they have evolved into a fully fledged family vlogging channel with 11 million subscribers.
Sup, Royalty fam? How you doing?
Hi, why is there a school bus right behind us?
I don't know.
Maybe because I picked you up from school and we're out of school?
Yeah.
And schools usually have school buses?
Yeah.
Duh!
Good start. Let me just roast my son on camera because I asked him a stupid question.
If you have not hit the subscribe button,
then what are you doing in your life?
He's right. What am I doing in my life? That's better.
Give this video a big what?
Big like.
For sure, yeah, I got you.
Are you guys ready? If so, give this video a big thumbs up.
Okay, well, I already did, but I always do as I'm told.
Before we call her, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button.
Okay. And now the video's gonna start.
Yeah, guys, gotta give this video a big thumbs up because we're taking a big risk.
All right.
Hit that like button, hit that like button, let's go.
Well, that was a lot of work to end up right back where I started.
He's gotta make it look believable that he hurt himself, so he's gotta wrap himself up, maybe wear a sling on his arm, maybe some crutches. We'll make it work, we'll make it work. We'll do whatever it takes to make Andrea believe that it's true.
You hear that? They're gonna do whatever it takes. No holding back. Let's see what that entails. Nice. So they've got a neck brace that isn't really bracing anything because it goes up to his nose. And I really like the bandages wrapped around his forehead that have no blood on them. Must be a preventative measure. You see all these band-aids on my arm? I didn't actually cut myself. I'm wearing them just in case I start bleeding. You can never be too careful.
Do you remember this dog?
What is this?
It's a dog.
This kid's so funny. This is what happens when parents come up with an idea for a video that forces the child to have to act.
Look at me. Who am I? A person?
A person? You are a person.
She's still pretty upset though, which is fair because her son doesn't know who she is and they're being super vague about the whole thing.
You look like something bad happened.
But then when they finally tell her at the end that it was a prank.
It's a prank!
It's a prank! She's not her!
You can see that she's been crying and it just feels kind of weird.
Got it!
Luckily for her, this is all part of a prank war, which means she gets an opportunity to prank them back. What devious idea does she come up with? How about the same exact prank 1 week later?
I don't know who you are.
How hard did you fall?
Ah, so hard.
Brilliant.
Thank you right now.
Baby, no. Baby, wake up. No, baby, wake up. Babe, mi amor.
Oh my God. She died, I guess. R.I.P.
Oh my, baby, don't go around with things like that. There's certain things that you shouldn't do. I really got scared for you.
Babe, you can't joke about these kind of things. Only I can do this prank last week. You can't do this prank this week.
No, that was a misunderstanding. I apologize. No, we have no emergency.
Oh
Baby,
my
I
God,
called
I'm so
911 and I hung up.
Oh my
and
God.
They called me back so worried.
Oh good, I'm glad they actually called 911 and wasted their time.
We got you.
Now here's the thing, I thought we had kind of moved on from pranks. I thought after all the commentary videos about pranksters and, the algorithm shift over time that these were all a thing of the past. But that is very much not true. 8 million views, 10 million views, 22 million views on a memory loss prank. Well, now I gotta watch that one.
Sure, you can tell by the thumbnail and the title, I am doing a prank, and it's a very trendy prank. I lost my memory. Speaking of, why do we even do intros? I mean, just through the title, just through the freaking thumbnail. I know, but I just want to introduce them and make them feel like a family. So we are at this medical supply store to get a wheelchair to make this thing more realistic.
For me, this is probably the worst part of these videos is when they go to a medical supply store to buy a wheelchair and the employees are probably so confused. This girl was walking around just fine a second ago, but then she asks you to hold the door for her so she can film herself getting pushed out in the wheelchair, which she then gets out of so she can help put it in the car. They did a montage of her in the wheelchair. What do you think they do with the wheelchair when they're done? Do they just keep it? There's a chance that maybe they donated it or something, but wheelchairs are expensive, so they went and asked for their money back. So you're returning this because I don't need it anymore? Did your legs get better? Yes. Christmas miracle? Wait, aren't you the girl who was doing jumping jacks outside? Yeah, that was me.
That's the story that we're going for. Frank tripped me while I was going down the stairs and I fell all the way down the stairs and I broke my leg, my arm, and I lost my memory.
Also, I feel kind of bad for the dog because every time they film, the mom is just in the corner like shaking him around, making him talk. It's always like the villain too. He's pushing someone down the stairs or hitting on people's mom.
Kids, if you're watching this, I'm gonna get your mama's number and sorry, but your parents are probably gonna get divorced.
Well, it's time to call a friend and give her the bad news.
Piper hit her head so hard that she doesn't remember literally anything. Okay, Sophie's not making any sense right now.
Sophie, it's okay. Just talk to her. It's okay.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
We faked a brain injury and made a little girl cry. Then we made enough money off it to buy a Tesla.
This is all fake, Sophie. Sophie, you totally fell for it. I would have been, if she did this to me, I would have been a little bit skeptical.
I guess I'm like way smarter than you.
Yeah, gullible.
I guess you're just kind of really young, and I'm a grown-up.
But the wheelchair you play with.
Sophie, we rented it.
And what is this? Don't you have to go to the hospital for that? No. We also got out of the store. We got the wheelchair, dude.
Sophie's not making any sense right now.
Yeah, Sophie, ever heard of the wheelchair store? What are you, a child? It's time to prank the boyfriend now.
Gavin, it's not a prank.
It's a prank.
And he is not happy about it.
Remember, oh my God, remember our song? I've been Christ.
Oh. Okay. They have a song. I'm not gonna Google it. I don't need to know what the song sounds like.
How about I take you out for a ride?
Piper, do you remember? I don't remember this.
Fuck! I wrote that song for you!
You just wasted about 12, 13, 14, 15 minutes of your life.
You sneaky dog. The real prank was on the viewer this whole time. It's crazy to me how many people make the same video with the same title and the same thumbnail and they all get views. You think they shoot these thumbnails before the prank? Or did they stop halfway through to do it?
Ow, it hurts.
Oh my God, are you okay?
Oh man. Oh no. Ow, my memory.
Don't worry, I'm gonna call the doctors. Wait, don't you mean the doctor? No, the talk show. They'll know what to do.
Mondays on CBS. I love the Dobre brother video where one of them does the memory prank on the other one and they find him in a see-through hospital gown just standing out in the snow and he doesn't recognize his own twin.
What's going on? Just come in the car. Who are you?
And why do you look just like me? I think my brain injury has caused me to forget the concept of twins. Also, I guess the hospital just let him leave, but they didn't give him his clothes back.
So he already left.
Sure, we'll let you have that robe, but we get to keep your pants.
We're gonna get you some clothes in. Come on, it's getting cold. It's in the winter.
You're cold, Marcus. Just come in the car. Where are we going? We're going home.
We're going to where you live and where your home at.
Yeah, I think that's how you communicate with someone who's lost their memory. You just kind of talk to them like a caveman until they remember who they are.
Dude, what's going on?
Mom?
Then they FaceTime their mom and she tries to jog his memory. You can tell he's looking around, like not sure what he's supposed to say. I know that is my mom, but I think I'm supposed to have amnesia right now, so maybe I pretend I don't know her?
Hey, Mom.
Or not.
I don't think he remembers.
Oh, no, he does. He just said hi. Do you have amnesia? I love the varying degrees to which Marcus committed to this role. He's all over the place. First, they tell him to put on this hoodie and he just kind of throws it over his shoulder. What is this thing? Then he doesn't recognize their house, but is like, whoa, cool cars. Then he forgets his name again and acts like he's never heard of YouTube.
What is all this? Oh, these are YouTube flags. We have 14 million subscribers on YouTube. What's YouTube?
YouTube is your passion. It's what you do.
Yeah.
It's what we do. It's our job.
We like it. It's our favorite thing.
And 1 million subscribers here.
What are subscribers? Basically, people subscribe to your channel and watch us.
Yeah, so they view what what we post.
We get millions of views every day.
Yeah, a lot of people like to watch you.
Okay, maybe tone it down a bit, Marcus. This isn't your first day on Earth.
Go use the restroom, okay? Don't worry. How does he not remember how to use this?
Oh, come on. He doesn't remember little car? YouTube, I understand, but this is his little car.
Who am I?
Dad. Yeah, that's your dad. That's your dad.
My dad.
Okay.
No, I don't recognize Dad. I only know my mom and how to go to the bathroom.
Do you remember me at all? What we did when you were a child? What places we went? And what things I bought for you?
Not really.
So I bought you all those presents for nothing? Man, I could have saved so much money. This is getting really scary. I hope his memory comes back soon.
One of your YouTube videos. Let's put a YouTube video.
Look, that's you. 15 million, baby, let's go.
Let's go. That's what you do.
That's you acting like yourself.
Dad. Me? Yeah, buddy. That's you.
Wow. Ew, I did that? Yeah, that's you acting like yourself.
That's you being yourself right there.
Gross.
I did that all the time.
Honestly, I think you did it a little too much.
Oh, it's all coming back to me now. I make fart noise.
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
that's you.
And I stick out tongue. Stick out tongue. That's me. Guys, I remember.
See, you're just doing what you do.
Oh, that's such a heartwarming tale. And also a huge missed opportunity. That dude forgot everything. He was a blank slate. They could have molded him into any person they want. They could have put on a video of a firefighter or Mr. Rogers. And instead they just turn him back into Marcus Dobre. What a shame. So one of the newest trends right now is I went missing pranks. You know that thing of like when a kid goes missing and then the family never finds him and it's a horrible tragedy? We did it as a prank. This first came to my attention when I saw this video was #1 on trending. Truly the most important video on YouTube. Basically, she just like leaves clues for her friends and they run around in circles for a day. They could have just called it 24-hour scavenger hunt and it would have been the same exact video, but instead they did this. Not too crazy about people using trauma for clickbait, but glad to see YouTube's promoting only the best content. And of course, where there's a trend, there's a Dobre, because yeah, they did this one too. And they went all out. See, Marcus starts off like, wait a minute, where did your girlfriends go? And they're like, I don't know. Meanwhile, the girlfriends are hiding in their car in the driveway. So then everyone runs around looking for them for like 10 minutes until they get bored and give up.
There's no point, bro. Forget it, like whatever. Who cares? Let's just let them do their thing. They're probably like, I don't know, maybe they're getting their nails done or something.
Yeah, that's what girls do, right? They got like fingernails or whatever. And then they come back home and their girlfriends are waiting for them there. Prank! I'm just glad everyone's okay. It's pretty scary not to see your girlfriend for
13 minutes? But I guess I would prefer a pointless video over what all the other YouTubers who try this end up doing. It just gets really heated every time and they all yell at each other.
Just shut up! Hey, we did not talk her into this. What are you laughing about?
And someone always cries. And the description's like, man, this is really emotional. Maybe I took it too far. Whoopsies. I mean, they say they took it too far, but that's also what they use to get people to click on the video. Emotional reaction. She cried. You suck. I also love that clearly none of these people have ever seen a missing person poster before because all of these pictures look like mugshots. Missing prank on boyfriend. He went to jail? Oh, look who else did it. It's JD Vlogs, my favorite. Now this is a couple channel, which of course means they both did it. After all, revenge is a dish best served by doing the same thing twice.
I feel bad. I feel like a bad boyfriend right now. I'm sorry. Am I a bad boyfriend?
Or
a really good vlogger.
Yep, and that's all that matters. Emotional torment? Ah, who cares? Cause we got merch. Maybe you guys remember, maybe you don't. I made a video about these guys like a year and a half ago, specifically about their joining the army prank. Now, one of the things I said in this video was that prank channels are kind of dying out, and JD Vlogs is a perfect example of why I was wrong. I think they had like 500,000 subs at the time, and now they're close to 3 million. I gotta say though, there are not many more things on this world that make me more uncomfortable than scrolling through their video tab. Everything is either hypersexualized or has these weird abusive undertones. Being mean to her in front of her family.
Seriously, get out of my way. What are you doing?
Being mean to her and then giving her an iPhone.
Aww.
And I know a lot of this is fake. I know they play it up for the camera. I'm sure their relationship is fine. But still maybe don't turn this into content. You make it seem like it's okay to treat your girlfriend badly as long as you buy her a gift and make up for it. Maybe don't make abuse seem like a normal thing in front of your very young audience. A ton of whom, I imagine, are 12-year-old boys who just can't resist clicking on these stupid thumbnails. You say, I love you, you have to remove a layer. I love you. Oh, you said it. You gotta take off your top now. Babe, stop. Oh, you said it again. You gotta show your boobs again. Babe, look at my boobs and touch my friend's butt. And now touch my butt. And now I'm naked again. 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 And now I'm flashing his little brother. Surprisingly enough, these guys actually just announced while I was writing this video that they're going on a break. They talk about taking some time to reflect. It seems like the lines have started to blur between like what's their real relationship and what's just content. So a break from the channel only makes sense. And honestly, I can respect that. I think that's a very mature decision. And what's that? They posted a prank the very next day? Holy fucking shit. Oh, never change, YouTube. Never change. Oh, you did it. You watched until the end of the video. Thank you so much. As a reward, here's a countdown of my top 5 funniest pranks. Number 3. Place a call to the local pizza place and insist on ordering for Chinese food. When they say they don't serve the cuisine, throw a tantrum and tell them why they should cater to customer needs. Number 3. Call up a random number and as soon as a person picks up the phone, ask him or her, where do babies come from? This can be a brilliant prank to play on someone if you are aiming at embarrassing them. Number 1. Gold Digger Prank Part 6. Be sure to annihilate that subscribe button, otherwise I will start crying.